शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः यशेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति न पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्ताक्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु ओम शांति शांति शांति. Basically what we have chanted here is a prayer to Lord Ganesha and Ma Saraswati, and Bhadram Karnevi Shrudiyam Deva. Let us hear whatever is good. Bhadram Pashe Ma. Let us see what is good. Sthirai Ranga Stishtu Vagam Saskanubi Vyasheva Devitam Yadayu. Our body parts, our health should be good, and Vyasheva Devahitam Yadayu. Our life should be a life of service, should be for the welfare of society, and should be for the welfare of farmers. This is what we have chanted. So now, first of all, now I welcome our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Samar Singh, who has just joined. Although he is not there in the university, he has joined from Karnal. I welcome chief guest of today's program, Professor H.C. Sharma, Honorable ex-Vice Chancellor of Y.S. Parmar University, Nauni, Dr. Rajul, he is Vice President of Coromandel, Dr. Kuppuswamy, he is Senior General Manager, Regulatory Affairs, Dr. Bhatnagar, our Director of Research, our all team from CCSHAU Hisar, as well as team from Coromandel, and our Dean of the College, Professor Chabra, and all my colleagues who have joined, and all the students, dear students. Today, as you know, that we have joined the program. This is basically a training program for the students, and as you know that this is being organized in collaboration with the Coromandel company and the CCSHAU Hisar, and the basic purpose, basic aim of the program is that we are this is for the responsible use of the plant protection products. And we are having our final year students, we are having all the students who will be joining here. And now I request our Honorable Director of Research for welcome of the guests and dear participants. Dr. Sairawat.
Thank you, Dr. Pauja. Welcome everyone. On behalf of the university, it is a pleasure for me to welcome our delegates and guests in the training program on responsible use of crop protection products, jointly organized by CCSHAU Hisar and Coromandel International Limited. I welcome our worthy Vice Chancellor, Professor Samar Singh ji, and also Vice Chancellor of Maharana Pratap Horticulture University, Karnal. Dr. Samar Singh ji is internationally renowned agronomist with various awards and projects to his credit. Professor Samar Singh ji has worked with CIMMYT for 5 years and has visited various countries during his assignment. He is the person who inspires through his actions and leads from the front. Under his able guidance, the university is constantly steering ahead and touching new heights. In the recently released ICAR ranking, CCSHAU has been ranked among the top 3 SAUs of the country. HAU has taken up several initiatives to promote the culture of learning by doing under his guidance. He has extraordinarily putting efforts in establishment of MHU and streamlining the key activities for MHU and HAU. I welcome our chief guest and keynote speaker, Dr. H.C. Sharma, Honorable ex-Vice Chancellor, Dr. Y.S. Parmar, Ministry of Horticulture and Forestry, Solan, and a renowned international entomologist. Dr. H.C. Sharma was among 10 fellows recognized by Entomological Society of America for the year 2014. His research contributions figure among the top 2% scientists of the world. In India, he is the top-ranked entomologist. Dr. Sharma's work has been recognized by various national and international organizations, including 7 gold medals, the Hari Om Trust Award of ICAR, the Excellence in Science Award for CGIAR, and the International Plant Protection Award of International Association of Plant Protection Sciences. He is fellow of 7 academic societies, including NAS, and he is a life fellow of Entomological Society of India. Dr. Sharma is a governing body board member of IAPPS and president of Council of International Congress of Entomology. I welcome you, sir. I welcome Dr. Raju Lidolia, Vice President, Coromandel International Limited, along with Dr. A. Kuppuswamy, Senior Manager and Head Regulatory Affairs at Coromandel International Limited. I welcome Dr. A. K. Chabra, Dean, College of Agriculture, Dr. Yogesh Kumar, Professor and Head Department of Entomology, Dr. S. K. Pahuja, Associate Dean, College of Agriculture, to this training program on responsible use of crop protection products. I also welcome Dr. Anurag Bhatnagar, Senior Manager Regulatory Affairs at Coromandel International Limited and convener of this training. I welcome all the officers, dean, directors, head of the departments, faculty members, and participants of the training program. I appreciate the efforts put in by the team of university led by Dr. A. K. Chabra, Dean, College of Agriculture, and Coromandel team led by Dr. Raju Lidolia, Vice President, Coromandel International, in planning and conduction of this training program. India is largely dependent upon agriculture, with 14.5 GDP coming from agriculture, and 60% population depends on agriculture. In fact, if we include all agro-based processed industry, exports and service sector, it contributes to 45% of the GDP. We are now producing more than 60 million tons of produce if we include horticultural crops too. All of crop protection products and indispensable in agricultural productivity. Chemical crop protection products, commonly referred to as pesticides or agrochemical products, play a vital role in controlling the pests and diseases consume or damage crops, significantly reducing the quantity and quality of the food production. Thereby, the benefits of the agricultural innovation goes to farmers and consumers. Agrochemicals are important. They help farmers grow more food on less land by protecting crops from pests, diseases, and weeds, as well as raising productivity per hectare. Agrochemicals are used worldwide to improve or protect crops and livestock. Fertilizers are applied to obtain good yields from crops that are protected from insect and disease by timely use of pesticides. Pesticides enable farmers to produce safe, quality foods at affordable prices. They also help farmers provide an abundance of nutritious, all year round foods which are necessary for human health. Responsible use of crop protection products refers to the safe, efficient, and judicious use of these agrochemicals for agricultural productivity, human health, and environment. Although India is second largest agricultural producer in the world and uses much less pesticides both in volume and in variety, we must confess that though India uses very low pesticides, that is approximately 500 grams per hectare, but the misuse, abuse, and overuse is very common among farmers. About 70% of the pesticide use is in 5 states, namely Maharashtra, Punjab, Haryana, Andhra Pradesh. The usage of pesticides in various crops is also lopsided, wherein cotton, paddy, and vegetables corner the major share. IPM and responsible use of crop protection products are both subjects are complementary to each other. Responsible use may also include product choice, trap crops, mode of action, rotation, tank mixtures, application rate, IPM strategies, intercropping, sprayer maintenance, drift management, spot spraying, etc. If the credit of the pesticides include enhanced economic potential in terms of increased production of food and fiber and amelioration of vector-borne disease, then their debits have been resulted in various health implications to the man and his environment. A book called Silent Spring was published in 1962 by Rachel Carlson, documenting the adverse environmental effects caused by the indiscriminate use of pesticides. Carlson predicts that increased consequences in future, especially since targeted pests may develop resistance to the pesticides and weakened ecosystem may fall to unanticipated invasive species. Creation of Environmental Protection Agency in USA was an impact of the Silent Spring book. The complete dependency, extensive and massive use of pesticides in modern agriculture caused their widespread diffusion to all environmental compartments, including a wide range of organisms up to the humans. In the major cotton growing areas of northern states of the country, which includes Punjab, Haryana, and Rajasthan, in these areas, the number of cancer cases has increased in many folds, and people are correlating them with the high pesticide consumption in the cotton crop. There is a train originating from Bathinda and going to Bikaner, which is called as cancer train, because the number of cancer patients going to Bikaner for the treatment in that train. IPM emphasizes the growth of a healthy crop with the least possible disruption in agro ecosystems and encourage natural pest control mechanism. IPM means the careful consideration of all available pest control techniques and subsequent integration of appropriate measures that discourage the development of pest population and discourage the development of and keeping the pesticide and other interventions to the levels that are economically justified and reduce or minimize risk of economically justified and reduce the risk to human health and environment. Protecting bees and other wildlife is a major part of good stewardship practices for the pesticide users. Albert Einstein once remarked, if bees disappear from the surface of Earth, man would have no more than 4 to 5 years to live. Do you know that in about 1 in every 3 bites of food depends on the pollinators? The development of chemicals to protect agricultural crops is an important activity within the chemical industry. Without them, many crops would suffer dramatic losses. Some of these chemicals, the insecticides, are also very important in combating human and animal diseases. The environmental and toxicological properties of these chemicals have improved considerably over the last 6 decades. R&D of the companies aim to produce chemicals that are not just potent but are specific for required purpose while not affecting the environment in any other way. Because pests may develop resistance to crop protection chemicals, there is a continual need for new products to be developed. I welcome the initiative taken by the Coromandel International, a responsible key Indian industry with MNC, to take up the issue seriously and run several training and awareness programs at student and farmer level. We are in process of signing MOU with Coromandel to spearhead the student training on Indian and global agrochemical as well as agribusiness through professional mentors, research objectives on IPM and organic agriculture, and farmer awareness program through our KVKs. We are likely to take such initiative on regular basis, wherein both the organizations will join to meet common objectives to make India agro produce best in quality as well as highly acceptable to the consumers as well as to the foreign trade. Today's training program will help us in learning about protecting our agroecology, our soil health, and our health by using the principles of IPM and safety. I again welcome Worthy Vice Chancellor Professor Samar Singh Ji, Chief Guest and renowned keynote speaker Dr. H.C. Sharma, ex-Vice Chancellor, Dr. Raju Lidolia, Vice President, Dr. Ashok Chabda, Dean College of Agriculture, Dr. Bhatnagar, and other dignitaries and participants, and thank one and all who have joined and supported this event in one or the other way. I congratulate both the conveners, Dr. S.K. Pauja, Associate Dean College of Agriculture, and Mr. Anurag Bhatnagar, Regulatory Affairs, Coromandel International, and other faculty members for their tremendous efforts in organizing the joint training program. I hope that the training will accomplish all of its aims. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Dr. Sehrawat, for welcoming and as well as introducing the program. Now, I would request our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Samar Singh, for his presidential remarks. Professor Samar Singh, please.
Vice Chancellor, sir, kindly unmute your mic.
Hello, are you hearing me now?
Yeah, sir, now you are audible.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Chavda, and good morning to all. Honorable Dr. H.C. Sharma, Chief Guest of today's function and Vice Chancellor of Nani University, Vice President Coromandel, Dr. Pupu Swami, Senior GM and Head, Dr. Raju Idolia, Vice President, and Dr. Anurag Bhatnagar, the AGM Regulatory Affairs, our Director Research, Head Plant Breeding and Genetics, and Dr. Ahuja, and other participants, Dean, Directors, Scientists, and students. It gives me immense pleasure to be here on the occasion of a training program on responsible use of crop protection products, jointly organized by CCSHAU Hisar and Coromandel International Limited, Sikandrabad. And this is very good initiative that public and private sector are working together. And first of all, I congratulate the organizer of this training program, because this is very important in today's context. That it is the need of the hours, because we have seen that in many cases farmers are not using the pesticides in a judicious manner, and as a result, there is a residue in products, particularly in vegetables. We have seen that the products, the pesticides, the insecticides which are recommended in cotton crop, they are being sold in Karnal, Kurukshetra, where there is no cotton crop. All the pesticide, insecticide are being sold in vegetables. And in that context, this I hope that this seminar will help all the students and even farmers and scientists to rethink about the judicious use of pesticides. And I congratulate this Coromandel International, who is doing very good work on these aspects and other aspects. As we know that world population has been rising at unprecedented rate during the last 50 years. Modern agriculture technology has enabled us to largely keep pace with the increasing human population through increased productivity of major crops. But in addition to causing environmental deterioration, it has also resulted in increasing losses by the pests, pathogens, and weeds. Food plots are damaged by more than 10,000 species of insects, 30,000 species of weeds, 1 lakh disease, and more than 1,000 species of nematodes. Herbivorous insects are responsible for destroying 1/5 of world's total crop production annually. The limited area available indicates that anthropods may be destroying an estimated 18 to 20% of the annual crop production worldwide, estimated at value of more than $470 billion. In India, during the early 2000s, the losses increased considerably due to increased intensification of agriculture. Every year in India, pests and disease damage away on an average 20 to 30% of food worth rupees 44,000 crores produced by the farmers. The highest losses were reported in cotton, that is about 50%, followed by sorghum and millets, that is 30%, and rice, maize, oilseed is 25%. Losses in post-grain revolution era have shown an increasing trend than in pre-grain revolution era. The losses are considerably high in developing tropics of Asia and Africa, where most of the future increase in world population is expected during the next 50 years. It is therefore essential to control the pest and disease through primary plant protection for providing sufficient food security to the growing population of the country. Green legislation has considerably increased the crop production and made India self-sufficient in food. It is mentioned that apart from high-yielding seeds, chemical fertilizer, irrigation, pesticides played a very important role in enabling this green revolution. Pesticides are one of the important ways that farmers can reduce these losses, and other methods of preventing damage from insects, molds, slugs, and rats, and the competition from weeds. Pesticides help to ensure that food is of good quality and keep the cost of production in check. Herbicides, weed killers in particular, save a lot of costly and sometimes the tedious manual labor that would be needed to remove the plants that compete with the crop. However, it is difficult to segregate the contributions exclusively made by the pesticides. Availability of safe and effective pesticide and their judicious use by the farming community is critical to a sustained increase in agriculture production and productivity. Pesticides are designed to kill or adversely affect living organisms and unless they are used properly and correctly have the potential to harm people. Similarly, if used indiscriminately or incorrectly, many pesticides can damage the environment and hurt non-target animals also. Integrated pest management or characterized by management of pests so they do not cause economic losses rather than total elimination of the pest. IPM is a way to keep pest densities below the level where they eat into farmers' profits. IPM practitioners use a holistic approach to managing pests, combining or integrating different ideas and methods from a broad range of disciplines into a comprehensive program. Agriculture professionals and farmers who understand and use IPM have a powerful tool at their disposal. As part of an integrated pest management program, pesticides can continue with useful tools for protecting crops and helping to maintain a healthy population. One of the most fundamental premises of IPM is also one of the most important concepts of responsible use. This is that every effort should first be made to prevent the need for pesticide and that they should only be used as a last resort. Preventing the occurrence of pest problems before they can cause economic damage or require an intervention is by far the most preferred and most responsible tactic. Vast majority of farmers perceive crop protection chemical to be the key weapons in their efforts to protect their crops. It is therefore critically important that they and the farmers they serve know if and when they should be used and how to use them responsibly. They also need to aware of health and environmental risks associated with the improper use and know how to minimize these risks. Five golden rules of safe use of crop protection need to be followed. That is, exercise cautions at all the times, read and understand the proper level, and this practice good personal hygiene and take care of maintained application equipment and last wear appropriate personal protective clothing and equipment. During handling, that is mixing, transporting, storing, disposing, applying and working on pesticide equipment, plant protection products, personal safety should be taken care. One of the primary regulatory responses to promoting responsible pesticide use has been to establish maximum residue levels, which are the legal maximum quantity in milligram per kg of a pesticide present in food. Any agriculture product with the residue levels about this limit may not be legally sold or traded. This MRL mechanism helps to verify that products have been used according to the label and ensure that health risks are minimized. Often people only think of pesticides as chemicals, but they include a large number of different types of products. Some are natural, such as pyrethrum obtained from the crustacean flowers, while others are altered versions of the natural chemicals. Many of the older, more toxic pesticides have been withdrawn from the market, while more recently, pesticides include products that are very specific and generally safer to both people and environment than earlier generation of the chemicals. Biorational products have great potential for replacing the persistent conventional insecticides, confirming effective cost-benefit ratio, tackling ecological backlashes, and ensuring good security with safe environment and enhanced exports. The molecules used as biorational products are also very active at very low concentration, safe for natural animals of the insect pest, do not accumulate in the environment, and are degraded to simple non-toxic molecules. As pesticide will likely remain a tool for modern agriculture, it is important to design strategies that will reduce the impact of pesticide, the use of natural animals, biorational products, cultural control, and rational decision making for pest control, taking into account the damage threshold concept, is the need of the hour. With respect to pest control, regardless of the method selected, it should be implemented with precision and with as few chemicals are as possible. Integrated pest management is seen as a way to achieve sustainable agriculture production with less damage to environment. IPM relies on the minimum use of pesticides that target specific pests and can be applied at low rates and are less toxic to beneficial organisms. IPM projects have been able to deliver substantial reduction in the use of pesticides coupled with increased yields and adaptive pest control based on OPM with rational use of pesticides and also as a last resort seem to be the most viable way forward for safe production. And I am glad to know that renowned scientist of this entomologist, Dr. H.C. Sharma, is our chief guest today. Thank you, Dr. Sharma, to be here. And also, I am very happy that our university has taken initiative to working with a very reputed international company, that is Coromandel International Limited. I know this company very well, and they are working well for the benefit of farmers. And that's why and in the end, I thank to all the participants, all the organization, and particularly International Coromandel International, Dr. A. Kukuswamy, Dr. Bhatnagar, and Dr. Rajul Idolia, who is my close friend also, and we have worked together in the past many herbicides, insecticides. Thank you all. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Dr.
Thank you, sir, for your presidential remarks, giving a very nice overview of IPM, then 5 border rules and your biorational products. Thank you very much. Now, I would like to request Dr. Rajul Idolia, Vice President of Coromandel International, for his introductory remarks. Dr. Rajul, please. Kindly unmute, sir, Dr. Raju. Please unmute.
Dr. Rajul, you are not audible. Kindly unmute the mic.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. My presentation. Okay, all presentation. Can you all see my presentation?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Okay. So good morning, everyone. And my name is Rajul Idolia, and I'm working for Coromandel. And I am working for the agrochemicals industry for the last 32 years. And I have worked in a few organizations during this last 32 years, and most of my stint has been with DuPont, where I worked for 24 years. And then, now I'm with Coromandel. Uh, Today is actually a very historic day, I would say, for all of us. And it is a matter of great pride and privilege for all of us, to be associated, especially Coromandel, to be associated with a university, a world reputed, renowned university like HAU. And to make this happen, I think I would like to first and foremost thank the Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. Samar Singh ji, with whom, as he said, I have been associated with him since 1993. So it's 27 years long association. And during this last 27, I think we have worked on several herbicide projects. So many herbicides that we see in the market, which have been commercialized, I think I've worked very, very closely with him. And I've got full support from him, and I still getting support from him. So thank you, Dr. Samar Singh, for this MOU that we have signed between HAU and Coromandel. I'm also deeply thankful to Dr. Sehrawat, Director Research of HAU, and I know him since last 37 years. We both were classmates in Pannagar. So thanks, Dr. Sehrawat, for making this happen today, the kind of collaboration we are getting into. Thank you very much. I also sincerely appreciate and the support of Dr. H.C. Sharma, who is on this event today. Dr. Huda has been very helpful, Dr. Sitpuria, Dr. Chabla, Dr. Pahuja, Dr. Yogesh Kumar, Dr. S.S. Yadav, Dr. Sangwan, and all the other faculty members. Sorry if I have missed out some names, and other staff members of HAU who have been working, tirelessly to make this event, today happen. So thank you all very much. Ideally, we would have loved to hold today's, event face to face, but we know this is a new normal, and maybe, we have to wait. But what I feel is that there's no human replacement, there is no replacement to human interaction. So I think, maybe we have better times where we can face to face all of you. So I think Dr. Sehrawat, set the context about the various challenges. Dr. Samar Singh, he also shared a lot of challenges relating to Indian agriculture. And so we all know, that Indian agriculture is a global giant. We have the largest cropland globally. We have the largest irrigated area compared to any other country globally. We rank number one in pulses, oilseeds, cotton, in terms of production. And then if we look at the fruits and vegetables and sugarcane, we are number two. And in terms of cereal production, we are number third in the world, So it's a matter of great pride, that we are either number one or number two or number three in most of the important crops grown globally. We are also, in terms of agri exports from India, we are the seventh largest agri exporter. And in terms of contribution to GDP, it's almost 70% contribution coming from agriculture. Export share is 12%, and 50% of the people are employed in agriculture, which is very, very important. So, the livelihood of 50% of our people is from agriculture. Moving on to the productivity, I think that is where, the gap exists. While we are doing, wonderfully well in terms of production on many crops, but unfortunately our productivity is still low compared to many countries of the world. And these are some of the reasons, which you can see on this slide. Either it is, the falling landholding, which is a huge challenge for us. Then the imbalanced nutrient usage. The farmers are using, rather than a balanced ratio of NPK, they are more, using urea than using, P and K as well. So that is what causes the imbalance in the nutrient usage. Low mechanization in our country is a challenge. If we compare to other countries, I think we are lagging behind in terms of mechanization. Also in terms of low crop protection consumption, it's again, we are pathetically low compared to the developed countries of the world. China is 13 kgs per hectare, US is 12 kgs. We are just 600 grams per hectare, So despite, the production that we are seeing, I think if we can improve our chemical consumption of pesticides, I think we can really improve our productivity. If you look at the yields, compared to other countries and the world average, we are lower. Soybean, if you compare pulses also with other parts of the world, we are lower than the other countries and also the world average. And same thing is true for cereals. So mega growth opportunities that exist for all of us, who are engaged with agriculture, with the farmers, to improve this productivity gap moving forward. So I think that is, a major reason that, triggered a thought that how can we, engage with the agricultural universities of this country, where, so much of work is happening in terms of, all kinds of recent research work. You're developing new technologies, and all this is happening for the benefit of the farmers. And I think all this can really help us in improving the productivity in this country. So we did internal analysis and, of the various universities in the country, that which are the universities we can collaborate with. So HAU, of course, came at the top, in our analysis that we did. And I think these are some of the reasons. I think all, people associated, and as a country, we all should take a lot of pride in HAU, which is actually a born leader, and these are some of the reasons which I have listed down. So as Dr. Sarawat mentioned that, ICR has ranked HAU as the third best agriculture university in the country. And then you have, as I said, you have cutting edge technologies and hundreds of patents that you have filed or you have approved patents. You have signed more than 600 MOUs and, getting into the commercialization, which is a matter of great pride. You have signed MOUs with many prestigious universities in US, in Japan, in Canada, and UK. Then students, your students are in the best of places, either it is they are in the IIM institutes or, other in the corporate world. I can say in the ag industry, agriculture industry, crop protection industry, students who are pass out from HU, they are doing very, very well, Then occupied good positions and key positions in the industry. And of course, it just goes to show the quality of education that you're imparting to your students. And that is the reason, they're so well placed. And then, of course, you have established centers of excellence. So we did some homework, to see, how HAU is placed compared to the rest of the universities in the country. So it's a matter of great pride, for I think everybody who's associated with HAU. And as a country, we are also proud of HAU. These are some of the points of engagements that we thought when we were in the process of discussing with Dr. Sarawat and the team, that which are the areas where we, HAU and Coromandel, can collaborate. So clearly, 3 areas emerged. One was training, the other one was research, and the third one was extension. And these are not in any order, but these are 3 broad areas we thought we can collaborate. So one very clearly emerged was agrochemical stewardship program, which we'll be doing today. And why I say, this is very important agriculture stewardship program, because in no university in the country today is having any curriculum on the stewardship, or the safe use or responsible use of crop protection products. And maybe, moving forward, universities can consider as one of the courses, on the stewardship. Because now in US, I can share that many universities, they are considering to have, even in a country like US, they didn't have any course on stewardship, but now some universities have started including as a 2 credit or 3 credit course in those universities, because they realized this is a very important area which they were missing out all these years. And that is why we thought, since it is not a part of the curriculum of any agriculture university today, can we include this and share some of our initiatives that we are taking on responsible use. So that is the reason that we have taken it as one of the topics today to deliberate upon. The other area is students mentorship and counseling. We can do it online, we can do it in person. So whatever capabilities we bring on the table, we can pass it on to the students. Then summer training and internship programs, we do take students for summer trainings, and we can give them a good project, and it could be a great learning both for the student as well as for the company. So both mutually benefit, out of this. And sponsoring PG research work and on EdTech. So this is one area which is very interesting, because we are working with some Israel-based companies, startups, and they are working on some most recent technologies, and we all know Israel is way ahead in many technologies in the world, So we have been working on some of these AgTech, and since these are many are startups in Israel, so they need some kind of funding, and we can bring that funding, and then we can do some more work, because the challenge is also that the costs are prohibitive in Israel if they want to do some further research work. So we thought maybe, on some of these projects, we can work with HAU and, develop some more information on some of these. And these could be patentable technologies I'm talking about. The other very important is the campus interviews. So we would like to, have your students to become part of Coromandel, so moving forward. So we'll work with the human resources department, and we can take this forward. The other very important area is from the research perspective. We have been sponsoring for many, many years. We have been sponsoring trials at HAU, generating bioefficacy data and residue data for the purpose of regulatory trials. We can also look at another area is resistance monitoring, which is so important. Farmers abuse and misuse the product. Once they find some product which is very effective, they try to use that product indiscriminately, and that leads to resistance issues. So this is another area we can look at. It calls for an infrastructure, capabilities, and you need to establish a baseline, and then every year you need to do the resistance monitoring work after we commercialize the product. So all this work starts before the commercialization of any new product. So we can collaborate in this area as well. Then we can have joint research projects of mutual interest. We can also look at organic agriculture research, which Coromandel is very, very strong. We have, in fact, we are the leading company globally in terms of our products on neem, as well as the kind of research and new products that we are developing, which are azadirachtin based products. So we can look at that area as well. Then the extension is very, very important. So whatever work we are doing, if we are talking or walking or doing anything, it is all about, ultimately the stakeholder, the key stakeholder is the farmer. And we would like to collaborate with the universities, with your extension department and KVKs, where we can jointly work together, and we can help educate the farmers, bring awareness about the crops that they are growing, what are the best agronomic practices, from sowing to harvest, post harvest also, and also what are the best solutions for their problems. So all that we can do jointly, and we can sponsor those events as well. Okay, so these are some of the areas which are, I think, we felt both HAU and Coromandel where we can work. And there are many other things that are not a part of this list, but yes, we can do many more things, This moving to Coromandel, this is our heritage building in Chennai, which is a Murugappan Group. So Coromandel is the agriculture division of Murugappan Group. And this is our headquarter building in Chennai. It is, we cannot make any change. It was built by Brits in more than 100 years back, and nothing, we cannot do anything, even if there's a glass which is broken, we have to inform the Archaeological Survey of India, and then they will come. And so it is a very, in fact, it is a tourist site. People who visit Chennai, they do like to go and visit this place. And just opposite this is the port. So you can see the sea, and it has a port. So that's how Brits very strategically had built this building where they had their offices, and just across this building is the sea, the port. Okay, so this is about our dealers and distributors to sell our product. Of course, they are an important bridge between the company and the farmers. Demand, so looking at what is the genuine demand, accordingly we try to address those issues by way of providing the right solution and services. Retail outlets, similarly, we are organizing a lot of webinars with the help of the university scientists at our retail outlets. So you can see the second picture where the farmers come. We facilitate these webinars with the help of the university scientists. We are also trying to figure out, if there's any nutrient deficiencies, and our people are going door to door and trying to help the farmers to address any deficiencies in their crops. Then, as I said, we are also helping farmers with some farm implements. So that is the kind of service we are providing to the farmers, and we are doing in collaboration with the Andhra Pradesh government as of now. In future, we can look at other states as well to provide this technology. Similarly, we are also working on a tree injection technology where, crops like coconut and mango and grapes, these are the focus crops where you're looking at. We can talk more about this, maybe one-on-one. And then we have also installed e-kiosks, where the farmers can come, they can interact, they can, let's say they want to know about rice as a crop. They can go click on the rice. There'll be all kinds of problems, whether it is seed light, blast, dirty panicle, or false smart, or, stem borer, leaf folder, anything, so, and they can find out what are the possible solutions for that. And they can order, they can even order on this kiosk, and they can be home delivered. The product can be home delivered by Coromandel. We have some corporate social responsibility programs which we are running. So we have a hospital which we are running in Tamil Nadu where we provide free treatment to the patients. We are also providing free education to the girl child. We have been doing for many years now, and then we are doing some programs for the women empowerment, so some community development programs that we have been doing. This picture is from one of our fertilizer plants at Kakinada. And so there was a lot of barren land which Coromandel has converted into a bird sanctuary. So there are more than 100 species of birds that come every year, visit this place from as far as Serbia and Russia and all those places. So it's a beautiful site. It is again under UNDP. So a lot of you can sometimes see on Discovery or National Geographic channels who have covered this. So if some of you, or you're most welcome, all of you, if you want to visit this site, please do. It is maintained by the Morugappan Group, this site. So it's beautiful. When the birds are there, you can come and visit this place. Last but not the least, this is very, very important. I think we all have been talking about it, safety first and safety for the farmer. So farmers have been using a lot of crop protection chemicals, but I think in terms of safety awareness, it's unfortunately pathetically low. And what all of us can do, together, I think, to increase that awareness, because after all, these are all chemicals, and they can, though these are introduced in the market after many years of research work, a lot of tox work is done, the chemistry work is done, bioefficacy work is done, all kind of work is done, and then only, once these products are cleared by the regulators, policymakers, then only these come to the market or hit the market. So despite that, these have to be used with caution, with all kinds of precautions, and we have been doing that. So whatever product programs that we do, promotion programs that we do, safety is first and foremost. When we approach the farmers, or not only the farmers, the entire value chain, whether it is a dealer, distributor, retailer, other influencers involved in this whole process, safety is first and foremost, for the farmers. And same thing also applies, internally in Coromandel. We on driving safety or any kind of safety, plant safety, we give a lot of importance as far as the safety is concerned for ourselves and for our family. So with that, thank you very much once again, and I would like to acknowledge Dr. Samar Singh ji, the Vice Chancellor, Dr. H.C. Sharma, Dr. Sarawat, Dr. Huda, Dr. Sipuria, Dr. Chabra, Dr. Pahuja, Dr. Yogesh Kumar, Dr. Yadav, Dr. Sangwan, and all the faculty members, staff, and students who have given us this opportunity to get into a collaboration and hold today, which is just the beginning. So thank you all very much.
Thank you, Dr. Raju, for giving a nice introduction of starting from production gaps, and then how HAU is important, and how the strengths of Coromandel. Thank you very much. Now I would like to request our head of department, Professor Dr. Yogesh, who is the Professor and Head Department of Entomology, for just before that, I would like to request Dr. Sehrawat. There is some memento Coromandel company want to give. Dr. Sehrawat, please.
Sir.
Now I would like to request Dr. Professor and Head Dr. Yogesh for his presentation on locust and international threat to agriculture. Dr. Yogesh Kumar, please.
Thank you, Dr. Pahuja. Good morning to all. I am very happy that we are in presence with the Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. Samar Singh ji, and ex-Vice Chancellor and internationally renowned scientist, Dr. H.C. Sharma ji, who has been Vice Chancellor at Dr. Yashwant Singh Parmar University of Horticulture and Forestry, Noni, Dr. Sarawat, our DR, CCSHAU Hisar, Dean Sir, Dr. A.K. Chabra ji, Ashok Chabra ji, Dr. Pahuja, Associate Dean, and dignitaries from Coromandel International Group. And I could especially recall my start of career. I also served for some time in the Coromandel in DAG at that time. And in 1984, I worked for approximately maybe 6 months, I don't remember exactly. But since I was in sales, so I frankly saying that I did not like that job of sales. If I would have been in research, so maybe in private, today I would have been serving. So it is very reputed company, and we are happy that dignitaries, Vice President from the Coromandel International Limited, and Senior General Manager, AGM are present with us, and other members from the Coromandel International Group. So since this program is on this responsible and judicious use of pesticides, so I would say that the pesticides are very essential in management of different pests, including insects, rats, nematodes, weeds, all pests, I mean. And but we can't go without the use of the insecticides. But at the same time, we are to protect our environment also, our soil also, and our human beings on the safety point. So we must, the important point is that we must use the pesticides judiciously. I also quote the example of honey because I have worked on honeybees. So some industry is there, and when the beekeeping started in India, so honey production was very little, and that also was having no market in the India. So industry people helped in surviving this industry, this beekeeping, because they got orders from the other countries and exported the honey. So likewise, the role of the private companies which are dealing with the pesticides is very important in managing the insect pests. So we are happy that Coromandel are having international MOU with the HAU. So coming to the locust, which is a very serious problem. So as you know that locust is an international insect pest, and it damages almost crops, agricultural crops. And locust ऊपर second one. इसमें serious threat. Locust is a polyphagous pest, and it damages almost all the crops, and it is a very serious pest, and is a very serious threat to the agriculture. We must be knowing something about this, and our students also must know that how to manage the locust and how its biology is there, because it is very essential to know the biology of an insect, to know the weak points in their life cycle. That will also contribute for the judicious use of the insecticides and pesticides. This lecture will include what is locust, from where they come, why they come to India, extent of damage by the locust, swarm forming and locust management, in that precautionary as well as the action to be taken by the district administrations, farmers, and locust warning control organizations. Now, the question comes that what is locust? Locust is very much resembling with the grasshoppers, and these are the short-horned grasshoppers. The difference is that the grasshoppers are somewhat smaller in size, and also they are not able to form the groups, though a very few grasshoppers also form the group, but most of the grasshoppers don't form the groups and don't make the swarms. And another point is that when the adults of the locust emerge from the nymphal stage or the hopper stage, then they come in contact with each other, and from one locust another locust is repelled, and in that process it comes also in contact with the third locust. So in that way they start in behaving in a similar manner, and they form the swarms, groups and swarms, and that are very dangerous, and that can be of very long, I mean to say very some kilometers long also and wide, and having millions, thousands of millions of the numbers in the group. And they start from the breeding areas, desert locust. What we are talking is of desert locust. They start their breeding in the desert area, and on the favorable circumstances like temperature and also the rainfall, they breed in a very high number, and the swarms are formed, and then they move from country to country. They can move in a day, say from 10 to 150 kilometers per day in the downward wind direction. So they are highly migratory in habit. And another important point about the locust is that they show the polyphenism. Means when they are having 3 stages: egg, hoopers, and then adults. And in adults, there is very much color variation. When the adults are young and immature, the color is pink. And when the adults mature, the color changes to bright yellow. And those females which are bright yellow and mature are capable of laying the eggs. And the most dangerous stage is the young adults, which can migrate very long distances and damage the crops, thousands of hectares in a single night if a big swarm settles somewhere. Then I will come in the next slides that there are 3 stages: eggs, then hoopers or nymphs. In this case, locust, we call it as hoopers. On the left hand side, this one are the bands of hoopers. This one, when they emerge from the eggs, they are just whitish in color, and after 2 to 3 hours, they turn blackish and form some bands. Means they congregate in some numbers and they form the bands. Like this is one band, this is another band, and they are not able to move in this stage much. They can only move 500 to 1 kilometer in a day. So we are having different methodologies for managing the hoopers as well as the swarms. And on this side, this is a swarm of locust, and this can there can be millions of numbers, and they can be several kilometers long and wide. And mostly the swarms settle in the after the just near to the sunset, or I will say just after 1 or 2 hours of the sunset. And in the daytime, swarms move, and they can move the wind at a very high speed, depending on the speed of the wind, and can travel long distances. And sometimes they also move in the night also, but only in cases when they cross the oceans. And they are having the capacity to cross the oceans of several kilometers. Now, historically, there are mentions that the locust is known to mankind since the cultivation of the crops began on this earth. And we could find the mention in the Mahabharata also, holy books, Quran, as well as the Bible. In Mahabharata, Karna mentioned locust as poetically beautiful when he encounters Arjuna on battlefield. And in 10th chapter of the book of Exodus in Bible, 8th plague of Egypt is mentioned, and in Al-Araf chapter 7, there is mention of the locust. So locust is present and known to since the appearance of the mankind on the earth and the cultivation of the crops. Now about the classification. So it is very important for our students also to know the behavior, the management part. So the classification, it belongs to phylum Arthropoda, class Insecta, order Orthoptera, suborder Coelifera, family Acrididae, subfamily Crytacantha Cridini, genus Cysticerca and Gregaria. There are many species of the locust, but in India, 4 type of locusts are very important, and among the 4, this Cysticerca gregaria, which we call as desert locust, is serious threat and international insect pest. Only the desert locust, what we will deal is the desert locust, because this is the locust which is a serious threat to the agriculture, and only this species make these swarms and travel the long distances. Now there are other species, this desert locust, Cysticerca gregaria, which we are talking of mostly, and Bombay locust, then tree locust, and then this migratory locust. Now the difference between this is that the tree locust cannot move, and they move from one tree to another tree, and desert locust travel long distances and settle mostly, but I have observed practically also, though I have not seen many swarms. In the 2019 in Rajasthan, Gujarat and Haryana, Punjab, some swarms appeared, and in also 2020 in March, February, March, there were swarms of the locust. I will come in the explanation of that in some time. Now, regarding the crops which are damaged by the locust, almost every type of vegetation, every crop which falls on their way, and every tree, wild trees, forest trees, they damage. Say for example, wheat, barley, maize, sorghum, then this pearl millet, sugarcane, rice, pasture grasses, cotton, date palms, banana, vegetables, all type of vegetables, fruits, all fruits, citrus, oats, fruit trees, tobacco, then mustard, peanuts. I mean to say all fruits are damaged, and it is a very polyphagous pest and very serious pest, and can damage thousands of hectares if the farm is big, even in a single day. Now about their consumption of food. One locust individual can consume equal to its body weight per day, that is 2 grams per day of food, and a small swarm say of maybe 500 meter wide and 500 meter long can consume this food equal to the 10 elephants which they consume in a single day, 25 camels and 2500 people in a day. They can consume food equal to this much number of the people, camel and elephants in a single day. Now about the nature of damage of locust. The locust swarms and they settle near to the sunset after 1 or 2 hours of the sunset, and they consume starting leaves, stem, bark, seeds, whatever they find on there, they are able to consume that. And they also settle on the trees, and the branches of the tree fall and break due to their weight of the swarm. And they also damage the growing points. So the crops are not able to, plants are not able to survive after that. Greatest level of damage is caused by the last instar nymphs and young adults, which can travel to long distances, and immature adults. Mature adults cannot travel long distances. They lay the eggs in the vegetation, but on the bare land. Then in their damage, eating marks are there. Locust, sometimes this in 2019, maybe in the 20, locust was also, storm was also reported in the Jaipur city, where the people are afraid of that, but it is not like that they will directly damage. But at that time, we must close our windows and all but our doors so as to prevent their entry to the inside the house. And local groupings are toxic, which can spoil our food, which is we are to eat. So that is these are some of the photographs. On this side, when they settle in the evening after the sunset, what I could observe in the last year and also reported in the literature also, that mostly they settle on the trees or the forest which are available. But also if that is not available, then there is every chance that they may also settle on our crops also. So our farmers must be very much aware about this problem, and they must protect their crops whatever they can do at their own level. On this side, these are the dead locusts after spraying. After spraying, they die, and there can be kilograms of 1,000 kilograms of weight of the dead locusts. About the economic importance, though there are some data, but it is very important, and I will mention that they can damage thousands in a single night. So you can judge the loss, whatever they can cause. Now about their biology, there are 3 stages: eggs, hoppers, and adults. Eggs are laid in the soil by the female, mature female, at a depth of 10 to 15 centimeter, with somewhat moist and loose soil. Say, example, sandy soils. Now, mostly they are not able to lay the eggs in the hard soils. And also, if there is no moisture, the eggs will not hatch, and there will be very much mortality of the eggs, and adults will emergence will be very less. However, if they have laid, female has laid the egg in the dry soil, and after that rain occurs, then survive in a big number and can go. Then second stage is hoppers, which in hopper stage there are 5 instars, and each of 1 week stay duration. Then adults. Then egg stage, laid in the pods. On this side, these are the eggs, and this is the female which inserts its abdomen in the soil up to a depth of 10 to 15 centimeter and lay eggs in the pods. And these are the eggs, just like a bunch of banana. Laid in the pods in moist sandy soil at a depth of 10 to 15 centimeter at an interval of 7 to 10 days. Gregarious females usually lay 2 to 3 eggs pods, having an average of 60 to 80 eggs per pod. Solitarious females lay 3 to 4 times, having 150 to 200 eggs average. Solitarious and gregarious, you must be knowing that solitarious sometimes they move, are found in single or maybe separated from the swarm. So when they make the groups and form the big groups, then we call it as the gregarious phase. The rate of development of the eggs depend on the soil moisture and temperature, but in general it is about 2 weeks. And in the female body, when the temperature is below 15 degrees centigrade, then Celsius, then there will be no development of the eggs inside the female body I am talking of. Incubation period is 10 to 12 days when the optimum temperature is between 32 to 35 degrees Celsius. And these are the photographs. This is the female, which is she is laying the eggs in the soil. Then almost I have covered this. After this hatching, there can be mortality of the hoppers, and due to the unfavorable conditions or parasites and predators, and mortality approximately in solitary phase 13% and gregarious phase 33%. I mean to say that all the eggs did not go to the adult stage. These are again the eggs, bunch of like a bunch of banana.
Acha. So he is joined, huh?
Then the second stage is hopper stage.
कौन मिला था?
When
What?
they emerge from the egg,
कौन मिला था?
egg
Mahesh.
hoppers are there and they form the band. After
Okay.
incubation, complete the eggs hatch and wingless.
Okay, that's great. Anurag was coordinating this, so I thought let me check.
5 instars are there in the gregarious and 5 to 6 instars are there in the solitary.
Dr. Raju, please mute your mic. Dr. Raju, please.
ठीक है. Thanks. Bye.
Dr. Raju, please mute your mic, please. Dr. Raju.
Then about the hopper, there are 5 instars and there is some difference in the different instars, and almost 1 week is taken by 1 instar. Newly hatched are white but turns black in 1 to 2 hours. In second instar, head is larger and pale color pattern is conspicuous. In third instar, 2 pairs of wing buds projects on each side of the thorax. And in fourth instar, color is conspicuously black and yellow. And in fifth instar, color is bright yellow with black pattern. Then about the adults. Fifth instar nymph molts into adult stage called the fledging, and the young adult is called fledgling. When they convert from the hopper stage to the adult, the wings are not fully developed and not hardened, and it takes about a week or 10 days to harden. And after that, the locusts are able to fly the long distances. And the fledging stage, the locust is not able to fly because the wings are not hardened. After a few days, the wings harden and sexually immature adult is capable of the flight, which is very dangerous stage after say about 10 days of fledging. The immature adult stage is most injurious and capable of long distances travel. Then what happens? How the swarms move? Say, if there is favorable condition, temperature, humidity, and as well as the rainfall has occurred, so they will breed in very huge number and will form the swarms and will move. And if they are not controlled on their way, then the big swarms can enter the different other countries. Say, for example, this time in 2019, this Pakistan had not initiated much about this management of the locust in their country. So due to that, this may be also the reason that they have entered the India. Otherwise, they would have controlled there. So there was every possibility that swarms would have not entered the India. But their government initiated such measures also that you collect the locust and give it as a poultry food, and we will give you this much for 1 kg of the locust. Now about the color differentiation, when they emerge and they are immature, the color is pink, and when they mature and they are able to mate and lay the eggs, their color becomes bright yellow. Males usually become sexually mature before females. The only satisfactory guide to female maturation is egg development within the female, which can only be seen by the dissection. Under most conditions, the female takes about 10 days to develop eggs to the stage where they are ready to be laid. At high temperatures with lush green vegetable, the time may be. Egg development within the female is unlikely to occur at temperatures below 15 degrees Celsius. This is again the same thing, egg, then hoppers, and then fledging stage, immature adult, mature adult, and then egg laying by the female. Then the total life cycle is approximately 12 weeks, including egg, hopper, and adult. Then behavior. This is very important in management of the locust. What happens? I have already mentioned that they can travel even 150 kilometers per day. The most important point is that they settle in the evening. During the day, they move. And during the daytime, if the locust is moving, the farmers can make noise, any noise, maybe with the drums or maybe with some settlements at their own level by machines that will exclude their labor, and automatically some noise will be made by that instrument. And due to this noise, the swarms don't settle. And this must be done mostly at the evening, because at the evening they try to settle. Otherwise, in the daytime, they will move. So the most important point is that when they settle, we can only kill them when they settle, after the settlement. And they settle in the late evening. So the control measures are to be initiated either in the night or late evening, or before the sunrise, or after or between 1 to 2 hours after the sunrise. Because after sunrise, they bask the sun, and after getting somewhat warm, they move to the another place. So after the movement, we will not be able to kill them. And for killing them, it is not that you will spray with knapsack sprayer. So we must be ready with the tractor mounted sprayers and big machines for the spray. I will come to that also. About the hoppers, they are not able to fly, and they can move just by jumping, and they move 500 meters or 1 kilometer in a single day, and they form the bands. And when they move in a jumping way, we can dig the trenches on their way, so they fall in the trench, and after that we can kill them or bury them with putting more soil, or we can kill them with the insecticides. And the nymphs can be treated throughout the day also. Then migration, they migrate very long distances, and they can even cross the oceans. Then about the plagues, plague means when there is very much favorable condition, and they have developed, or I mean to say that they have developed in huge number, and at that time they are able to cause we call it as a plague. Then declines. Decline means when the conditions become unfavorable. Why locust move? Locust move when the conditions are unfavorable, and if they don't found the vegetation, if the green vegetation is not there, then they move in search of the green vegetation to the another places. So when the unfavorable conditions come, or if we manage them, that period is called as the declines of the locust. Then about the management, though I have covered some portion. The swarm management is very difficult, because I've already mentioned that they travel the long distances during the day. So we cannot go for management during the day. It is only possible in the night, and we must be ready with all the things in the night. Say, for example, we must have collaboration with the district administration. In India, there is locust warning organization and locust control organization. And at FAO level also, there are advisories are issued, and they have also recommended some insecticides for the management. And what we should do, the first thing is that the locust warning organizations, they are conducting the surveys regularly, and depending on their surveys, they warn the farmers and give information to the agriculture department of the state. Their field functionaries are in the field, and they conduct especially surveys in the desert area of Gujarat and Rajasthan. And on the basis of that, they warn and they send the information to the agriculture department, agricultural universities, maybe, and then district administration. The role of the district administration is also very important in the management of the locust. And the district administration is responsible. The district administration also call the meetings of this agricultural personals and make the groups for the awareness of the farmers. They will convey to the farmers that there are every chances that locust swarm may come. So by media or by papers or by campaigns in the villages, we must aware the farmers that there are every chances that locust may enter. So be ready. And also the list of the equipments, tractor mounted sprayers, the agricultural person of the state government may collect already the list of the persons who are having the tractor mounted sprayer, because with the government it is this facility is not available. So that sprayers must be checked, and those should be made already okay. And on the site also there should be management of the water. So district administration also involve the public health people in this campaign for the management of the locust, that there should be a supply of water all the time during those days. And also the fire brigade people, they come with their motor, and these are also used for spraying the insecticides in their water tanks. Insecticides are mixed, and there are contracts with the insecticide industry that you will supply this much quantity of the insecticide which are recommended for the management of the locust. So all these things must be there. This almost covered. With that, we should already survey the different area, and farmers need to be advised about, or forecasting should be made about the locust swarms. When the locust swarms enter some area, then there will be complete dark in that village. In 2019 and 20, I received several phones from the Mendargarh area that our village has experienced a swarm enter, and there is complete dark. So the only way is that you make loud noises at that time, and with some DJ or like any instrument, so that they may not settle there, or they may go further. And sometimes when they settle, then we must be ready. It is not that we should be start preparations at that time. We must be ready with all material, and immediately we should rush to the station that where the locust has settled, and immediately we must spray. But the care should be taken that there should not be wastage, and the use should be very much judicious, which is very important, which we are sitting for today. Then about the procurement of the pesticides or insecticides, the state government should procure already. Here also in 2019, our worthy Vice Chancellor asked me or directed me to have some stock of the recommended insecticide. So we also purchased that. Though I was somewhat delaying that, because when swarm will come, we will purchase from the market. But our Vice Chancellor directed us that be prepared already. If the swarm will come to the university, what you will do? So we purchased, and that is lying with us still. We have used somewhat as per our requirement, but stock is still with us. This type of machines are used by the locust warning organization for the management of the locust. The most important thing, the most important point is this one: economic threshold level. This is about 10,000 adults per hectare, or 5 to 6 hoppers per bush. If the level is below this, then we should not go for spraying. Now, what happened? Because the locust swarms, it is not regular. Look, what we have seen, it is after 25 years in the 2019 and 20. It is after 25 years what we have seen, and the young generation have not seen before this, the swarms. So, several questions I received from the farmers that there is locust, but that locust was in single phase, solitary phase. I mean to say, either they are individuals or solitary phase, not gregarious, or the swarm, when the swarm move, some of the locusts left behind, or they separate from the group, so that come to the field. So we must not fear from that type of that locust population in the field. Say for example, maybe 100, 200 or 300 locusts moving from one field to the another field. So that does not mean that we need the management practices. So tractor mounted sprays and machines are used for the management. These are the insecticide recommended by the FAO. This Bendiocarbon chlorpyrifos 20 EC 1.2 liter per hectare in about 400 to 500 liters of water. And the locust warning organization people, they use a Melathon 96% ultra low volume spraying at the rate of 0.5 to 1 liter per hectare. We can use these insecticides. And what I could get from the locust warning organization joint director, they are saying that lambda is very effective, chlorpyrifos is also very effective, and they mostly district administration mostly use these two insecticides.
So I thought this will be a very important, apt, appropriate topic to, to discuss on today. And I have tried to make it very simple. So I should not take a lot of time. And I have tried to put a lot of pictures. And these pictures we also share with the farmers, so that, because farmers can relate better to the picture. So I've tried to, make the presentation very simple, easy to understand. So I move on. So this is what I will be talking on today. So first is the challenges which surround, the stewardship related issues relating to crop protection products. I'll also touch base on the, non-government organizations, various NGOs who are, basically don't use science and create more of negative perception about pesticides, rather than, highlighting what are the pluses, of these products, crop protection products. then some very elementary information on crop protection products. Then I'll talk about the product label, which is very important, whether it is a pharma product or a crop protection product. I think the label is very important, which most of us, even, when we go and buy a medicine, even we ourselves who are educated, we don't bother, for the label, and we don't read the label, what it does, what are the side effects. We don't care, So cause of concern. Application technology, right? Nozzles, farmers are not using because of lack of awareness. They're using a insecticide nozzle for a herbicide spray. And resistance management, as I said, is packaging, waste management. Have a policy on how do you manage the contaminated packages, of pesticides. Counterfeiting illegal is again a big issue, and maybe not actually fight these kinds of NGOs who are prevalent globally. And these are some of the global players. So if you look at the kind of money that these NGOs have, Greenpeace has $500 million budget, to create the nuisance against pesticides. Pesticide Action Network has a budget of $100 million. So Consumers International, other NGO, they have $300 million. Oxfam, just look at the kind of money that they have, $2 billion. So 500, there are 500 NGOs are the hero. So what is the crop protection product? So yeah, I know everybody knows this, but just a good refresher. Crop protection product is referred to as any pesticide or agrochemicals products, are both naturally occurring as well as man-made chemicals that play a vital role in controlling all kinds of diseases, insects, and weeds that harm or destroy the food crops. And what makes the commercial product? It is a combination of the active ingredient along with some inerts that are used. This is I will not go through this list in the interest of time, but that is finally what makes a formulated or a commercial product. These are some of the examples of Coromandel's products. So Tinochron is used for BPH control in case of rice, and also it goes in cotton for gesit control. We have Titus, which is bispyruvate sodium, goes for both transplanted as well as direct control of weeds, broad spectrum weeds. And then we have Prospel, which is a premix of mancozeb and azoxystrobin, which goes on multiple crops. And what are the types of crop protection products? We have insecticides, which kill insects. I think we all know this: fungicides, herbicides, nematicides. And then we have acaricides, rodenticides, molluscicides, and amphotericides. And these are all chemicals basically. So we have to protect ourselves. These are designed to kill insects, pests, insects, weeds, and diseases. So it is important that despite all the which are done, and your product from discovery to commercialization may take 10 years. Earlier it used to take sometimes 15 to 18 years, the kind of studies that were done. But now the processes have become more efficient globally. So every line from the discovery to the commercialization. But still, it may easily take 10 product at the marketplace. And this is because the amount of data that is generated to ensure that the products are safe to the human beings and all other non-target organisms. So what are the major routes how pesticide may enter our body? One is through the skin. When we have, it's a dermal exposure I'm talking about. Then it can be inhaled through the mouth, through breathing. So all these three, dermal and mouth and breathing and enter inside our body. Focusing on the label, which is very worth reading the labels, whether we are using a crop protection product or we have a look at the label. Importance of using PPEs, I'll talk about it. The proper storage, application, disposal, I'll talk about it. And the spurious fake products. So moving to the labels, label is the law. And there's a very clear article which says that every company before introducing any product in the market must work on a product label. And this product label is a typical label of a pesticide. This is all the information that you need to include in your label. And this is, as per the standard guidelines by the CIB. So you have to have a product name, the active ingredient or the chemical name, the concentration of active ingredient, what are the target crops and pests, which this product has to be used, should be there on the label. The dose rate has to be there, both in AI and formulation, and dilution rate, how much water should be used for spraying this product, the toxicity level. It shows in terms of triangle. So Fornex is a green triangle product. The waiting period, the name, logo of the manufacturer and the importer, batch number, registration number, hotline number, antidote. All this is a part of the label. And this is all very important for the consumer to know in case there's a medical emergency, not only the medical emergency, but in case, how the product has to be used. What is the dose? What are the target pests? What are the target crops? How much water has to be used? Every bit of information is there on the label, Right now, many farmers, majority of the farmers, they don't care. They just blindly follow what the dealer or the retailers or direct distributors or the company representatives, they tell them, they do it, So all the information is already there at their disposal. They just need to read, or if they themselves cannot read, I'm in their neighborhood who can help them, in reading the label. Similarly, so product label, this is how it looks. You can see I will not get into the details. So this is just one example I thought I'll share with you. Then this is again about the product label. So this is the front portion. This is the back portion. Boots, gloves, eye protection, face mask, everything, face shield. Minimum protective equipment, working with small sprayers. Again, do not splash, pour with care. And this is about the dry products, what measures we should be taking. So along with what you are doing for the liquid formulations, whatever equipments, PPEs you're using for the liquid formulations, on top of that, one additional measure you should be taking is use a dust mask for powders and granules. So that will provide us extra prevention or precautions. So this is about when spraying diluted product. So now you have prepared the solution, now you're spraying it. So these are the bare minimum, PPEs that we must use. So mask and face shield, long sleeve shirts, long trousers, and rubber boots. And very important is spray in the direction of the wind, not opposite to the wind, because we can get exposed if we are spraying against the wind. Safety during the application, again, is very, very critical. Spray with care for your own safety, prevent skin and clothing contamination. So if you're using a leaky sprayer, this is what can happen. And this is again a very common sight in the field. Farmers, they are not getting their their spraying equipments repaired, and they're leaking, from either directly from the knapsack or from the boom. And it is not only wasting the chemical, but importantly getting exposed to the chemical. And then do not spray in the rain. So that is another safety measure that we need to take. Do not spray in strong winds, and we can get exposed to exposing ourselves. Safety during the application, spray in cool day, whether it is early morning or evening, that is the best time, rather than spraying in the afternoon or the noon time when there is full sunlight. So we can get exposed to it. So that is not the right time to spray. So spray in the morning or in the evening. Another very common thing that we see in the field is clogging or choking of nozzles. And what the farmers they do is, or applicators, they'll just take out the nozzle and try to blow into them, and you can get exposed, by this. So we need to ensure that we use something soft to clean the nozzles, especially a toothbrush kind of a thing is the best thing, something soft. Many farmers, they try to insert a needle to clean it, which is not the right thing to do because it can damage the nozzles, Then never eat, drink, or smoke. Safe. This is again during application, very, very important thing that we must not be doing. Never touch face with contaminated hands. And then moving on to safety after the spraying. So we need to have a clear warning sign in the field when this was sprayed, when the product was sprayed, and what is the re-entry period. And even this re-entry period is there on the label. So whether it is 7 days, 20, 48 hours, or whatever it is there, we should follow it up. We should follow it, and don't enter the treated fields till it is safe to get into the fields again. Then safety after the spraying, we need to dispose of empty containers in the legal manner. So either bury it, at a dedicated place in the field, which is, I would say, is not the right thing to do, because ultimately, again, there could be issues of contamination. So if you can find an incinerator, that is the best thing to do actually. So damage the container, triple rinse, and incinerate. That is the best thing to do. But if we don't have in our country, we don't have much facility of the incinerator. So today what the recommendation of what the farmers is doing is basically, damaging the containers. Triple rinsing is very important, and then you bury it at a dedicated place. Wash the sprayer and parts after the spraying is done, and so that as I said, you don't have contamination issues when you go for the next spray. Wash gloves after removing. Then wash your protective clothing after work. Wash yourself, take a shower, take a bath, after the spray. So this was about, before, during, and after the application. Moving on to the pesticide selection. So we need to choose the right product. So we must know what is the real problem. So if you're talking about rice, so first of all, farmers should understand that it is stem borer, or it is leaf folder. And what are the right products for controlling stem borer, or, so that is very, very important. So that comes with education, with awareness. So that is very important that farmers, you choose the right product and should not be dependent on something that the dealers or retailers have given and they go and use blindly. So the wise thing to do is, best is to have awareness. If you don't have awareness, the best thing to is to read the label. Users should be vigilant against duplicate products. That is, this problem is growing, and despite industry working with the government, still, there are so many fly-by-night operators that you try to, arrest few of them, today, and tomorrow you will see some more mushrooming, and these have nexus. They are well-connected people, so it becomes very, very difficult to completely eradicate this problem, So we have to be vigilant, with our products, and if there is any issue we identify, it's always better, first of all, to be proactive, and industry is trying to take some proactive measures. So whether it is the QR codes or whether it is the holograms, 3D holograms are also there in the market to ensure that they can avoid this contamination or product illegal or spurious product problem. So only buy products from the reputed stores or distributors. Avoid bargains, unnecessary bargains, and you may end up with spurious or illegal products. And always ask for a receipt when we are purchasing the product. Good to get a receipt, And in case of doubt, always contact the customer. So every product tag has a customer care number, hotline number, where the farmers can contact in case of any doubt or any clarification for the product. Okay, so I am now winding up. So these are the recommendations, which are followed globally for responsible use of pesticides. So this is not just about India. So whether you go to Brazil or you go to Europe or you go to US or APEC countries, anywhere, these are the global recommendations, that we have for responsible use of pesticides. So these are the 9 easy steps. One is only use pesticides when needed. Okay, you don't have to unnecessarily use a pesticide if it is not required, and get advice before buying pesticides from the authentic sources. It could be a university, extension department, it could be scientists, or it could be some authorized distributors, companies, appointed distributors, or company representatives. When transporting pesticide, make sure they are securely stored away from the people, animal, and food. Third one is when storing pesticide, make sure they are kept in a well-ventilated and securely locked place. Fourth is carefully read the product label and leaflet and follow the instructions. What is there? So read and follow the instruction. That is important. It's not just reading the label, but also following the label is very, very important. Fifth is check sprayer regularly for leaks and nozzles. They are working properly with PPEs while mixing and loading. Triple rinse empty containers, as I said earlier, is very important practice. And so triple rinse pesticide containers into the spray tank, then puncture the container so that it can be used, cannot be reused, which is sometimes becomes a practice by the farmers that they use the same pesticide containers for storing some food items at home or something like that, which is very, very dangerous. Take empty rinse containers to the nearest approved collection site from where it can be disposed of to the incinerator or to a dedicated site where it can be buried. While spraying pesticide, always wear PPEs, right PPEs, and only use calibrated equipment with no leaks. That is again very, very important. And spray either early in the morning or late in the evening. And do not eat, drink, or smoke while spraying. Next one is do not spray pesticide near water sources. It can contaminate water. It can harm the fish. So let's be very, very careful, that aquatic organisms should not be harmed with the pesticides. So keep away from water sources. Do not pollute the environment by misusing pesticide or leaving empty containers in the field. The next one is after spraying pesticide, take a shower and put on clean clothes. Wash the spraying equipment, personal equipment, while protecting water sources and the environment. Store all protective equipment separately and safely. And in case of accidental contamination, wash and apply first aid according to the label. Then take the person to the nearest medical center or primary health centers and bring the product labels, which has an antidote. So the doctors can have a look at the label and start the treatment. These are some of the first aid tips, that we must know. So we must do basic first aid and get medical help immediately in case we are exposed to a crop protection product. Check the label for the first aid information, which has an antidote. If pesticide spills on your skin, wash the area with soap and water, remove and discard contaminated clothing. When a pesticide gets into the eyes, flush the eyes slowly and gently with water for 10 to 15 minutes. When someone inhales pesticides vapor, move the individual to fresh air. If unconscious, give artificial respiration. If a conscious person, give a conscious person water or milk if he or she has swallowed a pesticide. And very important is read the pesticide label to find out if you should induce vomiting. So these are the first aid things we can immediately, and in case of medical emergency, we can attend to the impacted person, And this I shared in the morning. This is very, very important. So Coromandel is a very responsible company, and we have been creating a lot of awareness through our stewardship programs for the farmers and at every level, So now we have taken it up with the universities, with the, we have scientists, faculty members, we have budding students who are the scientists, and I'm sure they will have bright careers with the corporate world, and they'll continue to work with the farmers, for the farmers. And it is good to have knowledge on responsible use of pesticides. So with this, I'd like to thank you all very much for giving us the opportunity to cover this very important topic. Now, I just touched base on some things, very elementary basics, but we have truckloads of information in this area. And this is just the beginning. As I said earlier, we'll continue to hold such programs. And there are various guidelines on distribution, storage, all kinds of guidelines are there from FAO, which, we can, in the subsequent talks, we can take up some of those topics. So with that, thank you all very much.
Thank you, Dr. Rajul, for giving a very nice presentation, covering starting from challenges, then labels, safety during application. and it was a very good presentation with pictorial presentation, so that our students can understand in a nice way, and covering safety after spraying, then pesticide selection, then in the end you have given 9 easy steps, and then first aid tips you have given. So it was a very good presentation. Thank you very much for that. Now I would request Dr. A. Kuppuswamy. He is senior GM and head regulatory affairs in Coromandel International. He completed his PhD in entomology and joined Coromandel and has got about 24 years of experience in handling new product development, registration, and regulatory affairs. Heading registration and regulatory affairs in crop protection of Coromandel International Limited. He is also handling new product development and registration for import, manufacture, and export, handling international registrations in EU, Central America, Latin America, Asia, and Africa regions, and obtained more than 1,000 registrations in various countries. So I would request Dr. Kuppuswamy for his presentation. Dr. Kuppuswamy, please.
He's presenting.
He is presenting. Dr. Kuppuswamy, are you there?
Mic unmuted.
Kindly unmute your mic, Dr. Kuppuswamy. Your mic is muted. Your mic is still muted. Dr. Kuppuswamy, can you unmute your mic?
शेयर में मतलब कहीं वहां से कर रहे हैं, बोल के वहां से ना सर, यहाँ बोल रहे हैं ना सर, ये अपनी तरफ से बोल रहे हैं
Unmute. Kindly unmute your mic, Dr. Kuppuswamy. We are not able to hear you.
Sorry, sir, there is a problem. I will connect it. 1 minute, please. I am trying to connect it.
Now you are audible. सब भी चलेगा. Dr. Kuppuswamy, we are not able to hear you. You are not audible. If there is some problem, so if there is some problem, I think there seems to be some technical problem. So I would request Dr. Sharma Let me introduce Dr. Sharma. He is former Vice Chancellor, Dr. Yashwant Singh Parmar, University of Horticulture and Forestry, Nauni, Himachal Pradesh. And he has been principal scientist at ICRISAT. Presently, he is staying in Chandigarh. Dr. Sharma has served as Vice Chancellor, YS Parmar University of Horticulture and Forestry, Nauni, between the period 2016 to 2019, and as principal scientist entomology, ICRISAT, from 1979 to 2016. Visiting scientist, University of Wisconsin-Madison, USA, 1986-87, and Department of Primary Industries, Queensland, Australia, 1996. Dr. Sharma has made significant contributions in the area of host plant resistance to insects, pesticides of plant origin, transgenics in pest management, biosafety of transgenic crops to the environment, and climate change effects on pest management and food security. Dr. Sharma has authored over 729 publications, including many book chapters, and his research contribution figure among the top 2% scientists in the world, placed in at 217 position in the world, and top ranked scientist in entomology in India with a C-score of 3.55, based on a study conducted by Stanford University in 2020. Dr. Sharma's contribution in research and education have been recognized worldwide. He has been conferred with Lal Bahadur Shastri Memorial Gold Medal, DSc AG 1974, M.M. Meekins Gold Medal, MSc 1976, Archana Gold Medal, Academy of Environmental Biology in 2000, Millennium Science Award, ICRISAT 2001, CGIAR Excellence in Science Award, Consultative Group on International Agriculture Research 2001, Professor T.N. Anant Krishnan Foundation Award 2002, Dr. D. Bap Reddy Award in IPM 2000, PPAI Lifetime Achievement Award, Academy of Environmental Biology 2005, Hariom Trust Award, ICR 2007, International Plant Protection Award of Distinction, International Association of Plant Protection Sciences 2007, GS Shukla Gold Medal, Academy of Environmental Biology 2017. He has also served as President of International Congress of Entomology 2008 to 2016, and member of Governing Board of International Association of Plant Protection Sciences 2008 to 2019, member of ASTEG Committee of Convention on Biological Diversity, CBD, UNEP, and member of Central Silk Board. He has also served as member of Review Committee on Genetic Manipulation, RCGM, BBT, Environment Risk Assessment Committee, ERA, Ministry of Environment and Forest, and he has been Fellow of Entomological Society of India, Academic of Entomology Sciences of India, Academy of Environmental Biology, and many more societies. He has been chairman, and he has got a very illustrious career as a international entomologist. And sir, I still remember when I was for a training in ICRISAT, we used to have a long walk in ICRISAT after taking our dinner. So welcome from heart of heart to this institute, and you're kindly go with your presentation. The topic Dr. Sharma has chosen today is changing scenario of IPM. Dr. Sharma, please, most welcome. Please, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Pahuja. You can listen to me? Hello?
Yes, sir, we can listen to you.
And you can see the screen? No. I am sharing the slides. You can see it?
No, it's not visible till now.
It's not visible. And so is present now your entire screen. Yes.
Present window, sir. Window.
Huh?
Window. present a window.
Present a window. Okay. Do you see something? Share. Is it sharing? No.
No, sir.
No. Where is?
Sir, have you opened the PPT now? Already
Yes.
have you opened? First of
Yes.
all, yes. Now it seems to be sharing.
It is shared?
It's in the process.
Yeah, okay. You can see the screen now, entire screen.
Still not, sir, but
Now,
only we are seeing you are presenting your screen. That's it. But still screen is not visible.
the screen is not visible. It says stop sharing. Um,
Do you see an arrow on your screen?
yes, I had, and so is, no, it says it is sharing. Do you see the first slide?
No, sir. No. Still
No.
not visible.
Still not visible.
Actually, you are presenting entire screen. Instead of that, we have to present a window. First open it and then present a window.
You just open your
Stop presenting. So I have
the volume.
now I go to present now. So a window
Yes, sir.
or my entire screen.
No, a window only.
Well, I did the window earlier. Let me no, it doesn't. So it is sharing the window. No.
No, sir. Sir, have you opened the slides, na? Presentation is already open, na?
Yes, it's open.
Okay, sir. But still not sharing.
It's not sharing. Share now, say a window. Does it share?
Not, sir. It's not there.
It's not. In the window. Okay.
We have to select the PPT, sir. PPT is there. It's visible there.
Okay. So it says, well, my side doesn't say PPT, a tab, a window, or your entire screen.
A window, then just screen will appear and you have to select this presentation.
Mm, there is a problem somewhere. Yeah, this is I have opened my presentation, PPT on the screen. Now, but then it doesn't show your.
We
Now, now the dialog box has disappeared.
Sir, can you see our screen there?
No, I cannot. Now I cannot see your screen. That's where the problem comes, I think. Very.
Uh,
नहीं,
And show. Okay. Now let me see if it will share now a window. You see anything?
no, sir.
सर उनको
नहीं, after
ये
you-
फाइल सेलेक्ट नहीं
What is
करते
appearing on this?
फाइल आएगी उसके ऊपर पावर फाइल शो
Yeah.
प्रोसेस
Sir, kindly see the process if you are able to see our screen. Are you able to see our screen?
Yes, I am able to see your screen.
So first of all, we have to go for present now. Then present now, the three options are there. The second option, a window, we have to select. Then we have to select the presentation. It will show the presentation there. Locus is thread. We have to press the share. This is the process we have to follow.
Okay, just a minute. Is no. Mm, Yes, present now. Yes. Then you go to window.
Then a window,
Yes.
and then you have to select the PPT there. You will be seeing there.
One small window will
What?
open.
You will be seeing on that window the PPT, your PPT. You have to select that.
Okay. Well, this is a very small icon.
Yes.
Not sure where it is. Um, this appears as a very small thing. I don't see the PPT.
Can you mail the file, sir? Can you mail it?
Yeah. Yes, I have pressed it. And it is, yeah, it says I am presenting now.
शेयर स्क्रीन
Yeah.
But
Presentation
slide,
was not.
it's
ये तो हमको
Yeah. Could you see it now? Right. Yeah. 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 I have this. That is. This screen is open now. It says I'm sharing. Okay. Yes. From my side, it is sharing. It says, yes, okay. No, okay. No, that bar is not coming at the bottom. Yeah. Right. No, I know that it's simply that bar is. It's not.
Can you mail it, sir? If you can mail it, we can present from here.
Okay. Just a minute.
वो सर
Uh,
विंडो छोटी आ रही है. हाँ. तो select नहीं करता.
फाइल बड़ी होगी सर।
I'm trying to send it.
Yes sir.
That I think seems to be a big file. I think, okay, after
I think it is more than 25 MB, sir.
yes, looks like that. Much more. Um, well, by the time this process is completed, I think I can start. First of all, thank you, Dr. Chabra, for the invitation. So the Honorable Vice Chancellor of this HAU, Professor Samar Singh, Director of Research, Dr. Srawat, the Dean, College of Agriculture, Dr. Chabra, Dr. Pahuja, Dr. Rajul from the Coromandel International, other statutory officers of the university, fellow entomologists, students, good afternoon to all of you. I think it's very pertinent that we cover this topic of the responsible use of pesticides. And this topic is more relevant today than ever when we are looking at doubling the farmer's income, and not only doubling the farmer's income, we have to double the productivity as well. So, in this, did you receive my presentation? Hello?
Not visible, sir. Still not visible.
No, I have sent you by,
You have sent by email, sir.
yes, to Dr. Chabra.
Okay, Shavra's mail. Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Dr. Chavra.
Yeah, just now I received. So
Yeah.
Sanjay, I'm mailing it to you. Okay.
Yeah.
So while various aspects of the importance of use of pesticides in crop production and the responsible use of pesticide, this aspect has been covered in depth by Dr. Rajul. But one of the aspects we have to ensure safe use of pesticides is that the recommendation for sale of pesticide and pesticide use has to be governed on the same lines as we follow for the prescription of medicines. For selling the medicines, there has to be a pharmacist who would recommend you the right dose, duration, and frequency of a particular medicine. Similarly, these things are now incorporated in the Pesticide Act, Revised Pesticide Act, which states that the sale of agricultural chemicals should be through the agricultural graduates. There must be agriculture crop protection scientists who should be there in every pesticide shop, or those who are involved in the pesticide sale, distribution, and or recommendation. So if we could just implement the Pesticide Act in letter and spirit, I think we would add some science and some sense and value to the crop protection that we have to use to sustain the food production. Now, could you open those slides? Not yet.
It is saying give access is denied. It is saying, sir.
So,
You might have received Google Drive.
yes.
You just have to give access to that. Google Drive, you might have been getting a link.
Okay. Climate change.
मैडम ये आई है इनको
Request access करो.
रिक्वेस्ट एक्सेस वो दिखा रहा है एक्सेस वो कर रहे हैं
डॉक्टर शर्मा से होगा.
उनकी उन्होंने लिंक दिया हाँ उन्होंने कर दिया उनको
Got it.
बात नहीं
We are sharing, sir. Now we are getting it.
Okay.
Just it is downloading. It's a huge file. So,
Now, so I continue I think, looking at this aspect of the pesticide sale and which pesticide, what dosage, what frequency, on which particular crop. I think we can do it better if we just implement our pesticide act in letter and spirit, and that was something which was envisaged in 1978 in an international meeting actually that was held at Hisar on pesticides and the environment, and that was the first actually conference where I had made a presentation. So now going to the pest management, the changing scenario, and one of the drivers of change is the climate change. And another driver of change is the change in the cropping pattern, the crop husbandry practices that we employ, and the varieties of crops that the farmers grow. So with all these changes that are taking place at a very fast rate, we have to have a futuristic outlook as to what we need to do in future, so that what kind of pest problems, the disease problems that we'll have to face, and how we minimize the losses due to those pests. So we can go to the next slide.
next, sir.
Or I can change them.
We are changing, sir.
Okay. So the moment I say next, then we'll probably go to the next, or
Right, sir.
okay. So this global change is happening at a fast rate. It's more because of the industrialization. It's more of burning of the fossil fuels and lot of emission of the greenhouse gases that gives rise to rise in the temperatures, changes in the rainfall patterns, increase in the carbon dioxide, and of course, more uncertainty with the rainfall pattern, and that will also affect our decision making as to how we grow the crops in future. We can go to the next slide, or third one, actually. I cannot change from here. Next.
This is climate change effects of crop yield, sir.
Yeah.
Maize, yeah.
This one? Okay, I'm not able to see them now.
This is maize.
Huh?
Maize slide, na?
Well, can go to the third slide.
Okay, sir. This is third one. Global warming and climate change.
It's not being displayed at my end.
It's visible, na? It's visible, sir. Global warming and climate change.
Yeah. 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 Okay. Now I say full screen. Yeah. Okay. Participant is where, madam? Which change? No, I don't see the participant here. Or in the presentation window. Um, you said I don't have a participant in my. It says a change layout, exit, turn on captions, use your phone or the. Tells.
Do you have Apple or the Windows one?
Huh?
Do you have Apple laptop?
No, I have Dell.
Yeah, okay. Then this should work.
So, yeah, right. I clicked it. Yeah. Next to chat and next is parties. I only see people chat and mm, yes, yep, yep. Oh, it is showing me only. No, I have no, but it is me. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Now I. Yes. Yep. I have to window your entire screen. No. People. I think you know. Okay. Cancel. Yeah, okay. Well, that's what I did. But this is my screen, not your screen. So now it is saying that I present my entire screen. So I have to open the presentation here again. Is it? Okay. Yes, it's opening, madam. Yes, it's open. All right. Okay. Nothing is appearing here. So, you can see my screen and the presentation. No. Yes. Oh, okay. Thank you. Sorry about this mashup. I think it happens a bit of time. So I think one of the first thing I was talking about is change in the pest spectrum, and because of the changes in the climate, the cropping patterns, the agronomy, and of course that's what will guide our decision making in crop protection in the future. So climate change will not only change the intra-species diversity, but may also change the morphological attributes of some of the crops. Some of the crops may flower early, and that will have a drastic effect on yield. And similarly, climate change will also change the secondary metabolites in plants, and that will change the susceptibility or resistance levels of the crop plants to the prevalent pests and diseases. So this is just a slide that just depicts what will be the effect of climate change on crop yield as a first go. If our varieties are susceptible, for example, in the maize at the low altitudes, if the variety is susceptible, for example, to drought, it may suffer as much as 40% reduction in crop yield. But if the variety has some tolerance to drought, then that effect will be less than 20%. So this is just an example as to what will happen to crop production as a result of climate change, and that's what will have bearing on our crop production, crop productivity, and the total food availability. You see this slide, as we see in this slide, is again just a demonstration that between 1950 to 1980s, we just had a geometric increase in the crop production, the amount of food that was produced. But if we look at the other line, which is the population increase, now the food production only experiences an increase at the rate of what we call the harmonic progression, very little increase in total food availability, whereas the population continues to increase at a geometric rate. It means we have to produce more food per unit of time, per drop of water. And of course, as a function of input, we have to be more productive. Another important component, added component to this thing is that while 50 years back we could make a meal with roti, some curry, dal, chutney or pickle, but today people like to eat more of the processed food, the noodles, the chicken and mutton. And of course, we know that to produce 1 kg of animal-based protein, be it chicken or mutton, you need 5 kilograms of cereals or other grain to produce that much meat. All these things lead us to think that we have to increase food production at a very fast rate. If you see in this particular slide, the pest-associated losses before the Green Revolution in different crops were on an average 7.2%. But after post-Green Revolution, after about 2000, these losses due to pests have been averaged at around 23.3%. And this change in losses due to the crop pests is due to change in the varieties that we grow, the agronomic practices that we employ, and of course we develop high-yielding varieties which actually lacked that resistance, and they were as much palatable or as much acceptable to the pests as these are to the human beings. So as a result of this climate change, what is the scenario that's likely to happen? So some slides or pictures from the work we did at ICRISAT and the carbon dioxide or CO2 chambers. Many of you know that mealybugs had emerged as a pest of cotton, but we had not heard of them as pests of pigeon pea. Under high CO2 concentration, under high temperatures in the environment chambers, these mealybugs, Pheinococcus, they could kill the pigeon pea plant in a matter of 2 to 3 days. Similarly, we also saw these mealybugs on chickpea plants. And as most of you have seen, probably have never seen a white fly on chickpea plants. But we saw these white flies on the chickpea plants in these CO2 environmental chambers under high CO2 concentration and or under high temperatures. So that engineers a change. Similarly, over the past 1 to 2 decades, Maruca has emerged as a major pest of pigeon pea. Of course, one, this is due to change in phenology, that the early flowering genotypes of pigeon pea, and 2, Helicoverpa has emerged as a more serious pest of pigeon pea and chickpea in the northern Indo-Gangetic plains, because now the weather begins to warm up around 15 days earlier than what it used to be. So instead of the Helicoverpa moths emerging from the diapause pupae in around middle of June, now they start emerging by the end of February. So we have one additional generation. So that just coincides with the flowering and podding pattern of chickpea and pigeon pea, and of course that leads to their serious losses. So this is just a geographical model that we prepared, that Helicoverpa and Maruca, as of now, they are confined to tropical and subtropical areas worldwide. But with the climate change now, more of the temperate regions in the Northern Europe and Northern America, they will become very congenial to these pests. So they will go as far as Russia over the next 20-25 years, when we have a nearly 3-degree rise in the temperature. So that's a change situation that we have to factor in while planning our pest control strategies. Now, one of the important components of the pest management is, one is the ecological balance, how the pest is regulated under field conditions. And as we know, for example, this is a situation for Helicoverpa on different crops. What we see is that Helicoverpa population, its egg parasitization is more than 35%. It could be 100% at times on sorghum. But the parasitization rate of Helicoverpa on chickpea and pigeon pea, they are almost less than 1% because of the presence of these acid exudates on these crops. So if only we can develop crop varieties that are compatible with the natural enemies, then we can have a better option to keep the populations of these pests under economic threshold. Of course, for each of these parasitoids or natural enemies and the crops, they have a different kind of a relationship. For example, again, if we look at the larval parasitoid Campylortus chloridae, then its activity is quite high on the cereals. But again, it's very low on pigeon pea, but quite appreciable or significant on chickpea. So we have to understand this natural enemy, crop pest, and the crop host, mean the crop kind of a dynamics, and see what we can do in a particular crop or in a particular system, whether we can use biological control or biological control is minimal, or what changes we have to bring about in the crop architecture, crop phenology, that it becomes more hospitable to the natural enemies. One of the changes that will occur in future is effect of climate changing on the survival of the natural enemies, and this is a study just on Campylortus chloridae, which is a major parasitoid of Helicoverpa. While this parasitoid can survive for more than 40 days at temperatures below 80 degrees centigrade, but under normal temperatures, it can survive up to about 20-25 days. But if the temperatures go beyond 35 degrees Celsius, then the survival of or activity period of this parasitoid will be very low. So we'll have a reduction in the level of parasitism that we experience in Helicoverpa because of Campylortus, be it cotton or be it in chickpea. Of course, this is absent in pigeon pea. Another change, which at times we do not understand or don't care for, is a change in the sex ratio of these parasitoids. If we just look at this last column, then while at low temperatures at 12 degrees Celsius, we have more of males and more of females and less of males. At 27 degrees Celsius, this male to female ratio will go very high. Since some of these parasites also reproduce parthenogenetically, so this change in sex ratio will also have influence on the heterogeneity in the parasitoid population, and that will have its implication for its survival. Another thing that will happen because of climate change, we will have more frequent droughts and extended periods of drought. And that change in the drought situation will change the expression of resistance of some of these crop varieties to a pest. For example here is of stem borer in sorghum. Some of the genotypes or varieties that we had selected for resistance at ICRISAT, when we grow the same varieties under drought situation, they suffer as much damage as the susceptible ones. They lose their resistance because their rate of growth is influenced. So this is another factor that we have to keep in mind while looking at climate change. And of course, these are the slides on for Helicoverpa susceptibility in chickpea. Under heat and drought stress, some of the chickpea lines that are resistant to Helicoverpa, they will show susceptibility. And here is the likely effect of climate change on production of Bt toxin proteins in transgenic cotton. So what we see here is that rise in temperature will have a negative influence, will reduce the production of Bt toxins in transgenic cotton. It means that with the global warming, the Bt transgenic cultivars that we have at the moment, they will become more susceptible. But if there is a rise in relative humidity, then that's where we have a positive relationship in the Bt production. So if we have More rainfall, of course, this also implies that we'll have slightly moderate temperatures, so that will maintain or increase the effectiveness of transgenic control cotton in controlling the bollworm population. This is also the effect of, we see the earlier slide, these are the CO2 environmental chambers where we can regulate the carbon dioxide concentration, the temperature in these environmental chambers. So what we see from these studies is that under stress condition, on heat and water stress condition, there will be more production of, say, oxalic and malic acid in chickpea. And we know that these two acids are associated with the expression of resistance to Helicoverpa. And of course, similar change we will also see in the two flavonoids, these two, this is a susceptible genotype, and of course, this is a resistant genotype. So these changes in secondary metabolite profile will also influence the genotypic susceptibility to insects. Similarly, if there is a rise in the CO2 concentration, then under high concentrations, at 750 ppm of CO2, there will be increase in the production of oxalic acid, but much more drastic increase in the production of malic acid. So this change in the organic acid profile in chickpea will also influence the susceptibility of chickpea plant. And of course, this is the total flavonoid profile of chickpea in a HPLC MS system. This will take a lot more time to explain, but we see is that lot more compounds or secondary metabolites are produced under heat and water stress than under the unstressed condition. It means the plants respond to climate change, and that will change the interaction between the insect and the host plant. Similarly, the plants that are grown under high CO2 levels, they will have increased enzymatic activity, whether this is phenyl ammonia lyase or tyrosine ammonia lyase. Now, these are two enzymes. These are involved in the production of the flavonoids or the secondary metabolites in crop plants. So, means high levels of CO2 in the atmosphere will increase the activity of these two enzymes. And that is what we saw in the previous slide, is there was greater production of these flavonoids in plants that were grown under stress conditions. Similarly, there was also increase of other two enzymes, PO2, MPPO, polyphenyl oxidase, and that will have implication for the nutrition of chickpea, say for Helicoverpa. So if we grow these plants on different environmental conditions with different levels of carbon dioxide, what we see is that we will have increased activity of amylase and cytochrome C oxidase in the Helicoverpa larvae, but a decrease in the activity of trypsin and chymotrypsin on a susceptible variety, but increase in the activity of trypsin and chymotrypsin in Helicoverpa larvae that are fed on a resistant variety. So these interactions then lead us to believe that there will be a change in the effectiveness of crop varieties that we have selected for resistance to various pests and diseases, and of course, that change will trigger a change in our decision making as to what kind of crop protection technologies we have to use. One of the things that we advocate for the reduction of pesticide residues in food and food products, and also delay the development of resistance to insecticide in the pests, is to advocacy of these microbial pesticides. But one important thing that we have to keep in mind is this couple of slides indicate you that maximum biological efficacy of these entomopathogenic fungi Beauveria and metarhizium is around 27 degrees Celsius. But if we experience a global warming or climate change, then when these pesticides are applied in situations where the temperatures are about 35 degrees Celsius on an average, then we will have least effectiveness of these microbial pesticides. And so is true about the effectiveness of the entomopathogenic nematodes. Their activity is maximum around 25 to 30 degrees Celsius, but their effectiveness will decrease if the temperatures go beyond 35 or 40 degrees Celsius. But another positive thing that we were looking from the presentation from Coromandel is they're looking at the use of neem-based pesticides. So what we have here is associational inferences that the neem which is grown in Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, and Andhra, they have highest concentrations of azadirachtin than the plants that grow under cooler environments of Delhi, Haryana, or Rajasthan, or Uttar Pradesh. So this is also a probably information for them, for you to prepare your neem-based products and have greater concentrations of azadirachtin of these non-triterpenoids is to source your neem seed kernels from these three states of Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, and Andhra. That's where you will have the greater what you call activity of these neem-based products. Another effect of climate change, of course, will have on pollinators and scavengers, and that will change the landscape and the what you call virtual thing. I think this climate change will also lead to a loss in the activity of pollinators over the past 50 years, and also the pesticide application. Around 14 to 50% of these pollinators reduction has been realized over the past 50 years, and of course that leads us as to how we can overcome the effect of climate change. One is, are any of the control interventions to be effective, be it the synthetic pesticides, they are the biopesticides, or they are the transgenic crops. The backbone of any pest control program is the varieties. So first, our varieties should have some level of resistance or tolerance to the prevalent pest problems. So this is just an example of two varieties of pigeon pea that I was associated with the development of. This is released in Telangana, is also cultivated in Andhra, also suitable for Karnataka and Tamil Nadu, is ICPL 332WR. It is released in Telangana also. If we use chemicals in conjunction with this variety, they are going to be more effective. Then, of course, this is an example of a major-resistant variety in sorghum. Of course, sorghum is becoming less popular with the farmers, but yes, if we have resistant varieties, we can deploy them, and then that resistance can reduce the pesticide application, but will also prolong the life of the pesticide molecules. So on a susceptible variety, you have to use greater, what you call more at higher concentration, more frequent use, and multiple applications of faster development of resistance. If you have resistant varieties, you use fewer applications, you use optimum dose, so means your molecule can be there for a longer period. Similarly, of course, we can have seen the transgenic cotton. Coming to transgenic cotton now, we had a situation in mid 80s up to mid 90s that when we experienced failures in pest control on cotton. But after the introduction of transgenic cotton, now we have a few situations where we find failure in control operation, particularly for the bollworms. Of course, we had some unusual situation with the whiteflies in northwest India in the last couple of years. But this slide just indicates if you take a BT cotton and use a recommended kind of a pest control program, you can harvest around 4 to 5 quintals. You have the same cotton hybrid. This was a resource from Monsanto Mexico. You have the same level of pesticide application on these two plots on BT Mac 12. Here you can harvest about 4.5 quintals, and here not more than 300 kilograms. You don't have the BT gene in cotton, you use the same level of protection, and you harvest probably less than 1 quintal. So this is the value of using transgenic crops. Of course, I worked on transgenic chickpea at ICRISAT in collaboration with CSR Australia, Assam Agriculture University, and we have now transgenic lines of chickpea that give 100% kill of this pest and do very little damage on the transgenic chickpea. This material has been given to Monsanto Mexico, to a couple of ICR institutes. This gene has been transferred to the high-yielding chickpea varieties. It's only for the government to take a decision to commercialize these varieties that we can reduce the pesticide application on chickpea from 7 to 8 sprays to around 1, 2, or none sprays, and then we can have a safer produce, a safer environment, and of course, better situation. Of course, there are suspicions, rumors. Again, what Dr. Rajul emphasized is the rumor mongering by the NGO. So much information has been, false information has been spread that even the cock became suspicious of the hen, saying how you produced an egg that gave rise to an elephant. So the hen replied, तूने मुझे GM चिकपी खिलाई इसलिए अंडे से हाथी पैदा हो गया. लेकिन ऐसा कभी नहीं होता. The transgenic crops are as safe as the traditionally produced varieties of hybrids, and we have a more definitive information about the nutritive effect and any of the other chronic or acute toxicity effects, if there are any, from the GM crops than we have from the conventionally produced crops. And one thing we must know is that while the LD50 of many of the pesticides is from 0.1 or 0.1 milligram per kg of body weight to around 250 milligrams, the LD50 value of Bt toxin proteins is more than 5,000 milligrams. It means for us to have a toxic effect from any of the transgenic crops, say with Bt genes for pests, we have to consume a couple of quintals of these crops before we can observe any adverse effect. And another important point is that these toxin proteins are produced only in the green tissue, in the leaves, in the calyx, and in the green stem, but there are hardly any Bt proteins in the grain that we consume. So it's unlikely that they will cause any adverse effect. And of course, in the higher animals, we don't have that receptor protein to which the Bt proteins can bind, which can lead to a toxic effect. Our stomach acidity in our stomach is 1.5 to 2.5 pH, and at that level of pH, all proteins are broken down to amino acids. So probably nothing of Bt protein or any other protein is left in the system. Another thing we can do now is to develop crops with using molecular markers. So this is just a linkage map of genetic linkage map for stem borer in sorghum. So we have identified the chromosomal regions that are linked to resistance to Helicoverpa. So once we develop these varieties that have some level of resistance, we have a better, more effectiveness of insecticides. For example, if we use carbofuran seed dressing on CSH1 grain, then with carbofuran and without carbofuran, the crop suffers more than 80% dead hearts. But if you have a moderately resistant variety like Maldandi or ICSP 745 that were produced with Acrisat, you use seed dressing or carbofran seed dressing on these resistant varieties, and you can easily reduce the fruit fly damage or dead hearts to less than 20%. So that is the power of integrated pest management, and that is the power of plant resistance. And of course, what all this does is that if we have plant resistance, whether through the conventional sources or through the transgenic crops, we can increase the effectiveness of crop protection chemicals so that we can have a safer use and a better use or a principled use of this crop protection chemical. And of course, there will be more input use efficiency and returns. Same is the situation for using these chemicals in an integrated pest management or a susceptible variety or on a variety that is resistant to Helicobacter. You use these chemicals in combination with ICCV 332. That's what you harvest. You use the same spray schedule on a susceptible variety ICPL 87. That's what you harvest. Again, a difference of 500 kilograms to around 3.5 tons over here. Of course, next is in future, another thing that we have to see is that in future, much of our vegetables, flowers, and will be produced under the polyhouse production system. We will also have the hydroponic system. So we have to design pest control operations where we use more of the safer pesticides, and there is also a likelihood of more effectiveness of the more likelihood of more better effectiveness of the microbial pesticides under this control environment. So this is also the kind of system we must focus on as we move more into the future, into the intensive cultivation systems. We'll be seeing more of these. So this is about flower system render, and after this, the hydroponic system that will be coming into use. So, and another thing we have to keep in mind that the produce from this protected cultivation system or from the hydroponic system, it will immediately move into the market. There will not be a harvesting time, there will not be a threshing time, and there will not be a marketing kind of a period as we see in case of rice, wheat, or maize. But here we use everything fresh, so we have to design more safer systems. And of course, in future, we have to also look into more of the agroforestry integrated cropping systems for better use of our land resources, and this can also will have a different effect. For us to be effective, we have to be cooperative, right? Like the one we are seeing today between Coromandel and HAU. So we have to have an open mind on collaboration, both nationally and internationally, so that we can have more effective systems. In conclusion, as a result of this climate change, we must, one thing to look forward is to diversify the genetic base of our crops, that we have many crops with diverse genetic background so that we don't get pest outbreaks or a variety suddenly becomes susceptible. Then, of course, we have to have better water harvesting or water storage systems, and of course, develop then integrated nutrient and pest management systems. We also should have an eye on the pollinators, very important for production of vegetables and fruit crops. So in case, for example, in apple, now the natural bee population or pollinator population has declined so much that people have to use honeybee boxes in the apple orchards at the time of flowering to effect proper kind of a pollination or fruit sac, and of course protected cultivation of vegetable and flowers will go a long way in increasing our food supply. So finally, my thanks to my team, entomology team, or colleagues at ICRISAT. I think this is the insect museum at Ikrisat, which you must say whenever you visit Ikrisat. And of course, I thank my colleagues at YSP UHF Norway, where I had wonderful 3 years. So finally, thank you, Dr. Chavra, for giving me an opportunity to interact with you all, and will be willing to answer any questions if there are any.
Thank you very much, sir, for your very illustrated presentation on integrated pest management. Particularly that the variation in that name-based slide was very interesting. That Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, and Andhra, Azada is very high quantity as compared to Haryana, Punjab, and these states. So this can be very helpful in managing different strategies. Then the conclusion you made about the diversification, that is very, very important in changing climatic conditions. Diversity is very, very important. And the role of pollinators, role of transgenics, also we cannot ignore. These are very, very important things which we have touched. So thank to you for this nice presentation. Thank you, sir. I think if there are any questions, we'll be taking in answer section. Now I would like to request Dr. Kupuswamy if he is ready with his presentation. Dr. Kupuswamy, please. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Sorry for the technical problem earlier. First of all, I would thanks for the entire team of HAU, the Honorable Vice Chancellor Dr. Samir Singh, and respected Chief Guest Sarma ji, and Sarawat, Dr. Sarawat, Dr. Ashok Chapla, and Dr. Pahuja ji, and Yogesh ji, and other dignitaries and other faculty members of HAU, the honorable speakers, and respected other dignitaries who are present in this call, and my dear colleagues, Coromandel colleagues, and students. First of all, let me thank you, the HAU team, for accepting our request for having these collaborations. Definitely this collaboration. We are very, very happy to collaborate university, the world-renowned universities like HAU. We are very happy. Definitely we'll take it forward for various other activities as Dr. Rajul listed down. With this, I can start my presentation on Indian agrochemical industries and overview. Dr. Rajul will make a presentation for me. I will speak because of some problem in my system. Can you change the slide, Doctor?
No, I think you have taken the control now, because I have not displayed this presentation. I think it's with you, Doctor. So you can control it yourself.
Okay, so yeah, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll let me put slides. It's visible now, slides so?
No, not yet. You have to go to the slideshow. Yeah, now.
Okay. So this is my flow of presentation. I will little go fast because of paucity of time. I'll talk about Indian agriculture trend and crop protection industry. then pesticide management, bill sales and distribution, emergence of new pests, and way forward. These presentations may be useful for the new students who are willing to join in the industry. Agriculture, as we are all aware, that global populations will be reaching 9 billion by 2020. It requires doubling of our food productions. Almost about 2.5 times we have to increase our productions. With that, to increase the production, the following are the various activities we have to do. For example, as land is coming down by 5%, we have to increase our pest control strategy for at least 20% above, and farm practices about 50%, and new technology, especially for BT, breeding technology and biotech should go up to 80%, so that we reach 2.5 times of food production to meet the requirement in 2050. Okay, Indian agriculture, as we are all aware about, more than 75% of population living in the rural, handling all agricultural activities, and about 43% of Indian geographical area is for agricultural activity. Agriculture is playing a major role in Indian economy, providing food for more than 1 billion people. And India, as we all know, that more than 50 crops, major crops are produced, and 1/6 of the earnings are from export. So as we are talking about land, arable land is coming down, and farm size is also coming down. So therefore, we have to increase the productivity with the limited land resources. Per hectare yield in India is comparatively lower than the rest of the world. You can see the comparison for the crop wise, soybean, maize, rice, all compared to the world average, we are very, very less. So we have to do more work along with the stakeholders to increase the productivity. So yield improvement potential, if you see, you can see 42% of the actual loss due to various pests, insects, weeds, diseases, and other things, and 30% loss due to the climatic changes. Pest, if we see the loss by different insects and diseases are contributing a major role, about 26% each, as well as weed is causing yield loss about 33%. So crop protection will play a major role to increase the yield. Agrochemical, if you see in India, we are the only country we are using a less agrochemical compared to the other countries like China, Japan, Taiwan, USA. So this may be due to these various reasons: awareness, or purchase power, limited of lower accessibility of the products. There are various reasons listed down here. So agrochemical building agriculture value chain, you can see here agriculture in the various value chain, agrochemical play a major role, including seed treatment and agrochemical application during the crop season, cropping time, and even for post-harvest also agriculture, agrochemical playing a major role to contributing to control the various pests. Losses caused by pests, if you see more than 20 to 30% of the crop percentage damage, about 1 lakh crore per year loss is estimated. This loss agriculture production will go, that lead to reduced industrial output and reduced economic growth. So if you see the comparison of the world is dominant, usage of herbicide is dominance in the world, whereas in India, insecticide dominance. Okay, this variation is there for a quite long times. Out of 60 billion market grow in the world, about 2% is expected to grow by 2025. So mostly Brazil is the largest market in the world, and followed by China, India, and other markets. So our Indian pesticides growth is expected to 8 to 10% on an average year. Herbicide and fungicides are expected to grow much more because of the new pests as well as the labor shortage for herbicides. Crop wise, if you see this, more than 50% of the pesticide consumed majorly 4 crops like rice, cotton, soybean, fruit, and vegetables. These are the crops where most of the pesticides are going in India. And the trend in agrochemical initially, as we all know, aware that it started with insecticides, started with chlorine, then phosphate, then carbamate, pyrethroids, neonic. Now it is fermentation. Now new chemistry is come like Rynaxypyr and other chemistry. Similarly, herbicide and fungicides, there are new trends, and from toxic to non-toxic products, the movement is there. And nowadays, many companies also moving from red label to green label products. Okay, this is the classifications, as we are aware, the red, yellow, and blue, green triangles. This is yellow is red is a very extremely toxic product like mono and methamine. Yellow is the poisons that most of the insecticide fall under this category. Bright blue is mostly fungicide and some herbicides falls, and bright green mostly all new generation green chemistry products are fall under bright green color, which is highly safer than the earlier three classes. So the shift in molecules, as methyl monochrome was the olden days when they were introduced in India, these are red label chemicals. Now most of the companies are moving towards green label. Recent introduction of pymetracin, chlorantraniliprole, prole, all are very less toxic, more than 5,000 mg per kg. So the trend is towards new generation green molecule to save our environment. Crop production industry, if you see in global crop production industry, about 60 billion US dollar, out of which various these regions contributing different percentages. Asia is growing. Actually, Asia is growing, and Australia and Europe is coming down because of the lot of regulatory changes. They follow very strict regulations compared to other countries. So 70% of the global market is contributed from patented molecule by MNC. This is the leading agrochemical market in the world. India is in the fifth place compared to Brazil, USA, China, and Japan. Other countries are follows. This is based on the turnover of the market size. So Indian crop protection market is right now, it is about 4.1 billion. It's about 32,000 crore business. It contributes almost, it is equally shared by export as well as domestic market. And the growth is expected about 8.6% in the domestic and 7.3% in the export market. This is the trend. You can see the top 20 companies, in top 20 Indian companies, you can find Coromandel is in the 4th place. We are growing much faster compared to other companies, major companies like UPL, Garda, PA, all are Indian companies. The top 20 companies here. These companies are contributing much more to the Indian agrochemical, Indian agriculture productivity. So this is the evaluation till 2005. We are the industry is mostly dominated by OP compounds, synthetic pyrethroids, and 5-10. Lot of price reduction has come for generics, and farmers got educated by through various agriculture universities and industries. Japanese molecules started introducing in India. Then from 10 to 15, if you see, rapid changes happen in from generic to specialty molecules and combinations. This is where new technology, new development has happened during this period. Growth in herbicide and fungicide started in 10 to 15. 15 to 20, the currently we see growth lead by fungicide and herbicides compared to insecticides, shift to specialty products with high margin, and decline broad spectrum applications. We have a lot of products coming narrow spectrum, and the future will be a new crop protection technology, green chemistry product, biopesticides, and drone technology. These are going to come in the coming years. The structure, if you see, there are about 4 different type of industry structures are prevailing in India. One is MNC. MNC, we all know, this is multinational companies. They will bring all innovative molecule, patented molecule, and they are very strong in pipeline products because they are very strong in R&D. They have a global access to product portfolio, best-in-class market development capability they have. They will invest money on branding. Indian companies like Coromandel, United Phosphorus, Rallis, Garda, all these companies are Indian corporate, and Indian corporate companies are generally a generic technical manufacturer. Their strength is distribution, and with limited R&D, they will have a pipeline through combination and off-patent molecule. Entry in early stage of product like cycle, that is a good thing for serving farmers at low cost price. Strategic tie-up companies, especially these companies, will concentrate on Japanese products, especially import, formulation import, and mostly Japanese products. And company like BA, they will concentrate on contract manufacturing, and some companies will have exclusive marketing arrangement with Japanese and other MNCs companies. The fourth category is the entrepreneurs. These people are mostly from Delhi-based companies. These people are all owner-driven companies. Their decision will be very fast, and they are bringing a lot of generic molecule from China, and they are also into various research and combination products. And this is this all already everybody knows that the big six companies become four now MNC companies. Lot of acquisition mergers are happening globally as well as in India. As we are aware that India, Sumitomo has taken over Excel, UPL acquired Arista, and PA recently has acquired Hisar Asia, Godrej acquired Aztec, and Crystal is buying many brands from various MNC companies. So if you see this inside of market inside, we are one of the largest producer of pesticide in Asia next to China. So approximately 125 companies are there and 7 MNC companies. Indian market is close to 18,500. Investment on new combination is the trend now with all the companies and trying to patent their combinations. And every companies are innovating a new technology, how to come into this agrochemical industry and serve the farmer. About 18 pesticides are banned in last year, and as per the 66 pesticides review, about 26 pesticides still under review stage. And foreign funded NGOs, environmentalists are there, playing critical role against these pesticides. And this market is very consolidated market, about 70% market share with MNC and 30% is by Indian companies. About 425 pest segments represented crop protection market, 16% pest segment contribute 80% of the market. Rice is temporary is a major contributor for pesticide usage. 30 molecules account for 50% of the market. There is a rapid shift from old generic to new generics, as we discussed in the earlier slides. So ban, this is a hot topic. Now everybody is discussing about 27 molecule ban. Actually, government has proposed to ban, but all are generic. We were using since 1970s. Much before also, there were no issue to any toxicity or any environmental issues reported as per the these products. All products are tested by CIB and granted registrations. So agrochemical industries, actually we are strongly protesting to ban these products. Even many agriculture universities are supporting supporting to the universities not to ban. Otherwise, this the high cost products will come into the market, because all generic molecules price wise, it is a very cheaper molecule for best control available to the farmers today in India. So we can thank all the agriculture universities, ICR institutes, many farmer associations. They are supporting our views, and they have sent a lot of letters to the Indian government to not to ban these products. Pesticide management bill is going to come maybe this next parliament session. This maybe it will be approved. It placed in the Rajya Sabha. Now it will be under discussion, and there is no much changes in the data requirement. Whereas PMB set a criteria for misbranded and substandard spurious products, and major changes that punishment for fine misbranded products. There is no clear classification what is misbranded, what is substandard. That is where industry are requesting government to revisit this management bill once again before approving this. So no pesticide can be registered unless MRL is fixed. MRL is very, very key things, as we are very aware. This basmati rice export is rejected due to MRL issues. So under this bill, there will be a provision to give more power to state government, and state government can take a decision to ban the product if they found any toxicity related issues. So important thing is that this bill, they have to give incentive to this R&D and Make in India program for manufacturer. And if we talk about sales and marketing, registration is the first step to start any agrochemical. If you want to sell any agrochemical or import or export, we need a registration from the central CAB and RC under the Insecticide Act. This office is located in Faridabad. So Central Insecticide Board will grant registrations for any for various pesticides under various categories. These are the various categories. 9.3 is the permanent registration. 9.4 is the Me Too registrations. There are a lot of guidelines available for indigenous manufacture, import, export, pheromone, biopesticides, even for mosquito, for public health products. Various guidelines are there that I'm not going to touch upon now. We will discuss it later. And the type of sales, if you see in India, there are two different types of sales. One is B2B or P2P. This is business to business. Indian companies will manufacture some product, they will supply to another company, then that company will sell it to dealer. They can sell as a bulk branded products and bulk product. Some of the company can do job work for bigger companies. Co-marketing also comes under this category. B2 is a direct sales to the customers, that is the farmers. Through this company can directly sell to the dealer or distributor. They will further supply to the farmers. This can be through a government supply or private agencies or retail business, like we have our own retail centers, Managromur in Andhra, Telangana and Karnataka. We are directly supplying to the farmers from our own retail store. Then online sales now started picking up, especially some of the water soluble fertilizers are available online, and co-distribution is one of the recent trends happening among the companies. Sales permission is important to sell in different states. Once we get a registration certificate, after that we have to take a local state permission to sell any of the pesticides. And distribution systems, as we explained, the technical manufacturer can supply to formulator to C&F and distributor, retailer. This is the one way. Another way is the same company can do in-house formulation, then they supply to C&F, distribution and retailer. This is the two different model available in the distribution system. Technology is playing a major role. Currently, if you see farmers, they want information about crop pest disease, and they are keep on talking to their friends and collaborators, peers about the requirement of agrochemical, all these things. So this trend is going to change. The future is on digital changes. They want a predictive information for preventive actions instead of control measures. They want to stop pest attack before the infestation starts. They're requiring all the information at fingertips. Now it is mobile apps are available. They will get everything on their in their hand. Information services and products should be personalized. Doorstep delivery. Yes, many companies started door delivery of agro inputs, including fertilizer. So their ability to collaborate into various international agencies. So global agro industry is moving from product industry to service industry. Actually, that's why we all started our farm service through our retail chains. So digital marketing is going to play a major role from conventional method to modern technology. Now there are, instead of earlier we used to give leaflet, posters, banners, all these things. Now everything is available in the mobile. Product app is available, YouTube, everything is available in YouTube. We are doing all our meetings through virtual, through online. We are directly in touch with the farmers through a laptop. this digital technology is going to play a major shift in the agrochemical industry in the coming days. Technologies, yes, technology is going to play a major role, as Dr. Yogesh explained that the spray application in for locust control, various technology they are adapting. Similarly, this boom sprayer and drone not yet still not yet approved. As of recently, they are approved for research purpose in for the IGRISAT. This is going to come shortly. The Aviation Ministry as well as the Department of Agriculture, they are discussing to frame a guidelines for drone technology. This is going to play a major role in the agrochemical industry. So pest problems, as there are a lot of pests recent year, last 5 years, a lot of pests has come, especially this rogus, spring whiteflies and coconut, fall armyworm and desert locust. These three major pests are last 2 to 3 years damaged a huge loss in the Indian Indian crop production. And emerging pests recent time as fall armyworm is a major pest across India. It is spreaded now, and this infestation is reported almost on all the states. Similarly, locust, especially in North India, Rajasthan, Gujarat, and Pakistan border, devastated almost all the crops, as it is highly polyphagous and it move very fast from one place to another place. Similarly, thrips re-emergence has occurred in cotton and chili. White grub in sugarcane is difficult to control. BPS is a challenge. It comes on and off in various places. No solution to oil spotted pomegranate. This is also a major problem. High MRL and low pH molecules are required to have, especially to improve our export sales. So for all fall armyworm, these are the products ad hoc method CABRC recommended. This still it is there. Most of the products there is no label claim, but even then to control this fall armyworm, government has taken steps to recommend these products. These are the pesticides, various pesticides approved by CABRC for controlling locusts. Malathion is one of the major molecules. It goes for aerial spray. That is ULB formulation. So pesticides, locust, various pesticides recommended from our side also. We have Malathion, we have Neem, Nemasol, as Dr. Rajul explained, we are the world leader in the Neem-based pesticide as a directive. So public-private partnership is very, very important steps. Recently, we have evidence that during this locust control, almost all the companies they have participated to control locust. Most of the companies they have supplied free pesticides, even spray machines, tractor motor sprays like that. We as a Coromandel also we participated this responsible use of pesticides. We provided Malathion about 10,000 liter for locust control to the government at free of cost. Various companies they have participated directly and collaborated with the farmers, government officials to control this devastating locust in Rajasthan and Punjab. Way forward, I see many organizations they are working towards the farmer safety. That is very much priority for us. That is why from red label to green label products, many companies are working. Agriculture department is very strict and cautious and stringent against label claim because off-label use is not at all possible as per the new pesticide management bill. Off-label is nobody can use it is offense. And department also draws samples randomly from market to across the check ingredient as per their registrations. This is mainly to control spurious pesticides. Suggestion from department, university, research institutes are taken seriously by farmers because farmers mostly they approach university scientists for their problems. They were expecting a solution from the research institute and well-reputed universities like CCSHAU. Exports rules and guideline changes from time to time, updated APIDA and state government, and mainly on MRL issues. A recent episode of banning tricyclazole and fluprozine in Punjab to stop usage on basmati is evidence. More focus should be on indigenous manufacturing under Make in India. Many Indian companies are want to manufacture products in India so that they can give at affordable price instead of importing products. So industry is having an opinion that PMB should be revisited and introduced after the consultation with all industry stakeholders. This likely to be happen because government is planning to refer to the standing committee that they will take opinion from the stakeholders. So industry is ready to cooperate with all government for all new initiatives to increase the agrochemical or farm inputs productivity to cater this need of food production to reach our to meet the population growth. With this, I would like to thank you, the entire organizers of CCSHAU as well as Coromandel team for giving me the opportunities to explain about crop production industry. Thank you very much. If any questions, I am ready to answer.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kuppuswamy, for giving a comprehensive presentation on Indian crop protection industries, covering all the aspects, starting from registration to sales to distribution. Thank you very much for this presentation. Although we are lagging behind time, I would request the students, we are having completed all our presentations. Any queries, especially the students, they are having any queries related to, we are having a very eminent speakers here. Dr. H.C. Sharma is there since morning. So any query by any listener, any student or faculty member, most welcome. We can check also, there was some message also, some question in the form of some question. We can check this. Thank you very much. One question I can read from here. Vast variety of effective products, but if I may ask you whether your company follow any protocol to test efficacy of your pollinators or not, pollinator safety is in your protocol or not? If yes, do you label your products that this is safer to pollinators? Safety of the products to the pollinator. This is, I think, from Dr. Mandeep Rathi. This question is there. Dr. Rajul, if is there. Dr. Kuppuswamy, if is there.
Yeah. So thanks for this question, doctor. And yes, without, because this is also a requirement, so we do get the products tested at, the recognized labs. And once we ascertain, that it is safe to pollinator safety, then that is the very important criteria for moving ahead, taking the product to the market. The other thing is, if we see any effect on the pollinators, so what we do is we have a stewardship program internally where, when we design our promotional plans, we are very clear, very categorical that how this product has to be used. So one message which is very clear is that if the bees are actively foraging, that is a time when the product has not to be used, So yes, we take due care, as far as the safety to pollinators is concerned.
Thank you very much, Dr. Raju.
Thank you.
Any more questions? If someone want to ask. Dr. Mandeep, if you want to ask something, you are online. Kindly unmute yourself. Kindly unmute.
Hello.
Yes, audible.
Hello, good evening, sir. First of all, I would like to thank Dr. Rajul for answering my query. I have also one more question that most of the insect invasions have been reported from South India. So is it because of the tropical nature of tropical climate in South India, or it can be due to other reasons such as lack of quarantine there? May I get some answer to this question from Dr. H.C. Sharma, please?
Yes, one of the reasons for most invasions to occur in South India is first, yes, due to the congenial environment, and also that's where we get these hurricanes either coming from the Southeast Asia or from the west through the Africa. It could also be that we have more people from southern India in Australia, in US and UK as expatriates, and with lot of this human movement, there is probably something or the other life coming in. Also, much of the seed industry is also based in South Central India. So they also import probably a lot of material, and with the improper checking or not so careful checking at the ports of entry, I think that's where this pests have entered.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. Any more questions? We can take one or two questions. If there So if there are no questions, so I would request our Dean of the college, Dr. A.K. Chabra, for formal vote of thanks. Dr. Chabra, please.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. Although we are late, but not so much late. But I'm really sorry that because we are sitting online and we cannot even offer you a cup of tea. So that you will have to arrange yourself at your own place. So anyhow, this one-day webinar, this went very successfully. And this is only because of the active participation of the students, the faculty, and moreover the speakers. The speakers, they covered most of the areas in the judicious use of the pesticides, or you can say the chemical products, the crop protection products. Now, first of all, I would thank our worthy Vice Chancellor that he spared his time because he has to say manage two universities at a time. So he is the Vice Chancellor of MHU Karnal and as well as HEU. Yesterday he was there and Dr. Bhatnagar reached there, and we had a chance to meet with Vice Chancellor, and they had a lot of discussion, and I think half an hour they had some discussion. They talked about the MOU they have signed, and I think our worthy Vice Chancellor, he is taking keen interest in this Coromandel group. I think because of the faith he has developed over the years with the Coromandel people. So we are very happy that Coromandel is joining us, shaking hands with the HEU, and we both will be making use of this opportunity to the maximum extent possible. This I can assure you. Then I am also thankful to Dr. S.C. Sharma, the ex-Vice Chancellor of Solan University. He has been to ICRISAT before that, and he was the principal scientist over there. I had a chance to go to ICRISAT for 2 years as a research scholar in 93-95, and for means it is more than 27 years before. So for that 27 years we had been in contact, and I know that Dr. Sharma, he's the means I would say most hardworking person I have found and that is too depicted by his biodata. See, he's ranked among the 2% of the total research fraternity over the world. 2% means, say, if we consider the world population, 7.8 billion today, he is ranked at 217. So this is the, say, great achievement for Dr. S.T. Sharma, and also, I would say, for India, that we are having such a knowledgeable person with us, such an experienced person with us who has joined this webinar and shared his experiences and views with the students and the faculty of HAU. Now, next, I would say the Dr. Sehrawat, our DR, Director of Research. In the morning, he remains busy because he has to see the university research work, and but he found some time for us, and he never says no, because he has keen interest in the research activities, as well as because he was the dean also earlier, so he is also dealing with the students here. So he keeps in touch with the students as well as the researchers, and he was very happy to know that Coromandel is organizing a webinar with HAU. So he happily joined us, and he delivered the welcome address, and then the other speakers from the Coromandel, Dr. Rajul. So Dr. Rajul, two nice lectures, and the first lecture was regarding the introduction of the Coromandel group, and I was really very happy to see that he touched all the basic concepts which are very essential to know, because students have so many questions in their mind, and I think through his presentation, all these questions must be cleared to the student now. His presentation was quite pictorial, as Dr. Pahuja said. It was touching all the basic concepts in the beginning, and then in the second lecture, he covered all the, say, you can say, the basic precautions what we have to take, what farmers has to take, and moreover, I would say the Coromandel as a whole is farmer oriented, it is the students oriented, and even the research oriented. So with the finalization of this MOU, we will be, say, following in, we'll be leading in these three areas with Coromandel. And yesterday, Dr. Bhatnagar was discussing with me regarding the teaching material that we can develop for the students. And I was really know that the Coromandel is ready to spend, say, unlimited amount of money for in this direction also. That will be very useful in the teaching direction for the students. Now, then Dr. Kukusami, although due to some technical problem, we could not say listen him in the beginning, but he delivered a very nice talk, and say the people of this caliber, if they join hands with the HAU, then it is really fruitful for the future of farmers as well as for the researchers and the students who are willing to join the private groups like Coromandel. Now, then Dr. Anurag Bhatnagar. So he has been with us since yesterday, and Dr. Pahuja and Dr. Anurag, I think they were, say, the liaison officers for us, and they really made the things successful for this webinar. And throughout the, I think, first of all, Dr. Bhatnagar, he contacted Dr. Pahuja, and Dr. Pahuja talked to me, and then all the things finalized. And Dr. Bhatnagar, because he is the alumnus of HAU, so he has, I think, special love for HAU also. And these things prove a lot. Say these are worth to mention, that whenever, say, any person returns to his own place, returns to his alumni means, say, like HAU, so he himself feels concerned about the things that, okay, what we can do for the HAU, what we can do for our institute. And these things prove really nice for the students and the faculty of that particular institute. Now, Dr. Pahuja, you can see that since morning he has been conducting the whole of the session very nicely. And whenever, say, I find any problem, I just talk to Dr. Pahuja and things are solved. So I'm really thankful to Dr. Pahuja. Then Monica ma'am, you can see that she is sitting behind the computer and she is our the person from the computer section. And when there was some technical problems, she offered her services and she managed the things very nicely. So I'm thankful to her also. Dr. S.S. Yadav also, he joined the team of this webinar very nicely, and I'm thankful to Dr. S.S. Yadav also. Then most important, the participants. Without participants, what I am watching, in the beginning, because we have a limit of 100 participants in Google Meet. So we offered another link also on YouTube. And in the beginning, what I found that more than 300 people say they were joining our session. And even in the end now, you can see that although because we are late, on Google Meet, there are less participants, but on YouTube, even now, students have joined there. So because they cannot interact with us directly, because of the YouTube platform, but they have sent the questions, and means I have seen overwhelming response of the students and faculty of this university. I think this is because the topic was chosen very nicely, and it is quite appropriate in the today's scenario. And Dr. Dhillon, he is the media advisor, and he covers all the news and these things, and disseminates the information to the concerned quarters. So whatsoever, say, the advertisements of the webinar and also the dissemination of the proceedings of the webinar, it is related to Dr. Dhillon, and he takes care of these opportunities very nicely. So I'm thankful to Dr. Dhillon also. And photographer, he covered the this webinar from beginning till end. And in the end, I would thank all those who are, say, directly or indirectly involved with this webinar. And say by mistake, if I left anyone, please excuse me, but I am heartily thankful to everyone. Thank you very much.
Okay, bye.
Sir, just a minute. Coromandel people, they want to felicitate you. Just
Well,
hold
very much. I'm hungry now.
online felicitation.
Okay. The Coromandel team wants to felicitate Dr. Chabra will be joining us in a moment. So first of all, on behalf of Dr. H.C. Sharma, we are this is a memento on behalf of Dr. H.C. Sharma presented to Dr. Chabra. This is for you, sir.
Dr. Sharma, my gratitude and such a nice presentation, sir.
So, sir, I will be sending you this today online.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just a small gesture. On your behalf.
On your behalf, sir.
No. Keep it.
I'd like to present you the picture.
सोलन हेडक्वार्टर पे जो है उसको देखो चंडीगढ़ पहुंचाते
Dr. Chabra, sir.
This is for Dr. Chabra. This is on his own behalf. Dr. Chabra, Dean College of Agriculture. Dr. Yogesh, the speaker of Dr. Chabra, please. छोड़ रह गया.
Thank you.
Dr. Yogesh,
sir.
who gave a nice presentation on locust and international threat to agriculture.
Thank you, Dr. Sir. Such a nice presentation.
Dr. Surendra, he is very actively involved.
Yeah, without that, this is possible.
Please come. Please come. नाम हो गया.
About it.
Dr. Pahuja,
Dr. Paul,
Thank you.
sir,
he's the soul of this webinar.
is the soul of the knowledge as well as our.
And sorry, I forgot to say thank Dr. Yogesh Sachdeva at that time. Now I remember. So, and Sanjay. And Sanjay also. And Sanjay. Yeah.
Without that, without no one will be able to say. Thank you.
MOU तो अभी हो जाए.
It's honor to have industry बाकी स्पीकर का इसका राजू लोग.
Yeah. This is on behalf of Rajul, the speaker today.
Dr. Raju,
Thank you.
his industry stalwarts.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Dr.
One on behalf of Dr. Swami.
Thank you very much, sir.
This is on your behalf.
Thank you very much.
Thank you all very much.
So thank you all.
Thanks so much.
So,
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Correct loss. वाले को डिस्कनेक्ट कर दे.